What happens in Bavaria stays in Bavaria. See you later, bitches!
Red Rocket pals.
So far, we've only killed 14 people at a time.
Yeah. Peg me.
Peg me, man.
Yeah.
Give me your
That was
fuel.
kind of my thought.
All right.
Integer, I just barely met her.
Moist inside.
The Red Rocket Club. Maybe they'll put us in Florida. It looks kind of like a penis.
Welcome to People Time! Oh shit, we're back. What, you guys thought we left? No, we're always here.
No, we're not going anywhere forever.
Yeah.
Just for a long time.
You don't know when.
Sometimes we're just gone for a long time.
We're like a treasure you find sometimes. Before we used to be consistent, now we're flipping it to make it sound better that we are
It's a quantity over quality kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're like fudge. You don't want fudge every fucking day.
No. But when you do get it, when you haven't had it in a long time.
Well, listen, Dabbler, I know your fat ass wants fudge every day. Yeah. I know you want us every day, but you know, it's not how life works. Grow up.
Yeah, just alienate them. Like, this is your fault.
Grow up. You don't get everything you want.
Well, shit. Well, who are you today?
Whoa. Well, let's do.
What were you gonna say?
I haven't picked the name yet. I'm just going with Ava Brontosaurus.
Ava, you're just gonna go with it? What do you mean? That's who you are.
That's who I am. I was born Ava Brontosaurus.
I don't get the reference. Is there a pun here I'm missing?
I'm just gonna leave it that way.
Oh, okay. You like leave me in the dark.
Yeah, I know. I think it's very funny to me.
You're like, you're stupid. You don't get it.
Well, I'm a naturally not smart person, so if I can find ways to trick people, like they don't understand a reference for something that I can feel superior.
It makes you feel good.
Only been doing that for like 25, 30 years. So.
That's what Ava does.
We have a guest.
Yeah, we should. That's what I was gonna say. We should announce that.
No, we should have probably announced that first. I'm not a good host. Podcast host. Bunker time. Okay. Sorry. What was your name?
Going by Tony Montana today.
Tony Montana.
Infamous Cuban sad person.
Yep. And Bourbon Runner.
And Bourbon Runner.
Nice.
Known for the White Lightning as much as being Scarface.
Is this like real or just in the movie?
It's real. Al Capone, because it's all based on Al Capone.
Oh, that's right. I was going to say, I
yeah.
haven't seen the movie in a long time, and I don't know that much about Al Capone.
Yeah.
But anybody who ran booze during Prohibition is a hero in my book.
Yes.
Ran booze during Prohibition and then basically set up the entire gang scene in Chicago. So that's,
Yeah.
That's your 30-second Al Capone.
Thank you for listening to People Time. This is our new format.
See you in a couple
It's a minute
months.
and a half long.
See you in another few months.
Well, you actually have a background though in some of because we talk about science a lot, right?
I do. I'm a dabbler referenced in previous episodes.
This is very exciting.
That calls one of the hosts and complains about
That's
how I know the science.
You got this wrong. That's stupid. You mix that up with something else.
It's not that. It's more like you two will make references about, hey, what's this math for? And I'm like, I know exactly what that math is for.
And we're like, we have no idea. We're not going to get into the math because we're too dumb. So we'll just skip ahead to this other part.
We have tried a couple times and then
fails.
Self-effacing, make fun of ourselves. But if it's a podcast, it's supposed to be about facts, and we're like scrambling to even put it together. It's not a great look.
Yeah.
So Tony's an old friend of mine and a science. Oh, buddy. A science math guy. I'm just gonna let it be.
He's a science math guy. Is it you do work in science? You do work in science?
I do. Some consider me a rocket scientist.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So wait, did you like Jack Parsons episode? If you heard it,
I've heard the Jack Parsons episode. The one that was most interesting was actually the Hynek episode.
Yeah.
Because I've been in a conference room at Johns Hopkins University named after him.
That's crazy.
Fucking blows me away, man.
It makes us like I haven't done anything. I have a dog. That's what I've got.
Bobs!
Come on, buddy.
Dog wants to be part of the People Time episode too.
Yeah. He seems extra.
He's been on a lot of episodes of People Time.
All right, so
yeah, very strange. Just the revelation that Hynek is significant in the science world, and then significant in my bullshit alien world. He's
Which we
quite
talked
a
about.
diverse man.
Yeah,
Pretty interesting.
in the episode.
That was the most fun about the episode because I had no idea about any of the UFO stuff at all.
Yeah, and I think even the episode we surmised that maybe the reason that he's not more important, aside from the fact that maybe a lot of his science is obscure, but, you know, if you're an accredited scientist and you start talking about aliens, they don't talk to you anymore.
Yeah.
So I think that might
I mean,
be.
that kind of happened with Jack Parsons, exactly.
Yeah.
They kind of changed the
However, aliens are real, and whatever Jack was into isn't.
fucking your mom. And the dog, I think, was what came up.
Well, what always gets me is when he summoned a woman in his imagination. That's what he did, and then he was like, "She's magical," and then I think she left him for L. Ron Hubbard.
Yeah.
Right. Who then went and created his own cult. Yeah.
Oh, Jack.
Taught Elron everything he needed to know.
And then he turned it around on him.
Thanks. I'm taking your girl.
Cool. I'm gonna go make a whole thing out of this, and you're gonna die alone.
What was that name we discussed? Xanthu? There we go. That'll work.
Whatever. That's great.
Comes out of a volcano? Yeah. From a
Sure.
meteor.
Sure.
Perfect.
Yeah, and spirits and spaceships and John Travolta.
And
Some
some,
sign here.
yeah. Well, and Tom Cruise, who you've had as a pet for quite some time now.
Yep. Tom lives in the backyard.
Oh, he's moved out of the basement to the backyard.
Mm-hmm. He makes too much noise at night.
Right.
So he screams about Katie Holmes. And,
Sure. Well, I'm Chester Copperpot.
Copperpot?
Chester Copperpot.
Chester Copperpot.
Oh, someone doesn't get the reference. Oh, it feels so good to be on this side. This is great.
Well, you're just being petty. That's wow. Wow, that's really petty.
Chester Copperpot. It's from the Goonies.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Another movie I haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah. He's the one who died.
Unfortunate.
He went in first to go explore, and they find his skeleton and his ID.
Oh.
And they're like, that's Chester Copperpot. If he didn't make it through the booby traps, how are we supposed to?
But they, because they never say die, that's how.
Yeah. Chester Copperpot, apparently. I'm going to die! And
I might die.
they
I have to
He
say
was
die
the reason.
sometimes.
He was the reason they had to never say die.
Ah, there you go.
Good
See?
film.
That was a great film, yeah.
Good film.
And I've been in a really big Cyndi Lauper mood lately for some
Is
reason.
she in that movie?
She sings in it.
Oh, I love Cyndi Lauper.
Good enough for you, it's good enough for me, it's good enough. Yeah. No, okay, I'm sorry. We can go
I
on.
think I heard it when I watched the movie.
I don't remember any Cyndi Lauper song other than the one that's in the Trolls movie because I have to hear that.
Which one's in the
7
Trolls?
times a day.
I don't know.
Trolls just want to have fun.
I got it. Yeah.
That's the original.
Yeah.
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 I
They
know.
just want to have fun.
My favorite is True Colors.
Oh, yeah.
Shining through. It's one of the big songs of my childhood. So,
So we're all Cyndi Lauper fans. Good.
Yeah.
hey, it gets the People Time seal of approval, Cyndi Lauper. Hey, hit us up on our Instagram, Cyndi.
Yeah, Cyndi.
After you hear this, because I know you can.
You list them all. We know.
Yeah, she's a big fan.
Come sing an opening montage for the
Oh, that'd be
program.
great.
We do need an intro song.
Dude, if we had a People Time intro song that was written and sung by Cyndi Lauper, that would be it from then on.
Yeah, we could retire.
Yeah.
We just do one episode and be like,
That's it. We've hit our peak.
We did it. I'm going home. Well, hey, if we haven't already said it, this is People Time. We're a podcast, and we're dumb, but we don't want to be dumb, so let's talk about history.
Yeah.
We're doing a science guy because our science friend is in the bunker.
Which
with
is
us.
fun. I always think that's good.
Hopefully it won't be as embarrassing.
I'll make my
Probably still will be.
I'll make my fun fact very
me.
quick and simple then because
All right,
I
go
want
ahead.
to dive in. This is gonna be a good episode. I can
Whatever you
feel
got
it.
to say.
All I was gonna say is that did you know that we guess 97% of history is just completely lost? Like written down history that we had. It is assumed that at least 97% of it we just don't have anymore. Yeah, isn't that weird to think about?
I don't like that.
What we know is
Well, do you
very
mean
little
just human history, or you mean written down?
written down history
academic
over the years,
collections.
like even ancient Greece and ancient Egypt
Oh,
and all
yeah.
the way from there up. Like, yeah, we just assume that. Yeah, we have a very small bit, which is interesting. I don't know.
Sad.
So,
Yeah.
but this podcast turns history into fun. If we had that under 97%, would it just be like all the shit that you ignore on Facebook and Twitter and stuff now. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
everybody's like, yeah, we don't need to write
We don't.
Johnny's shit down. We'll just
don't need
ignore
that.
him.
That's probably a good point. How much of it was someone was just writing down a bunch of stuff that no one cared about, and then when that guy died, they're like, just burn it.
Yeah, just
Who
burn
gives
that
a
shit.
fuck?
Yeah, because a lot of like, what's that rune stone they found where they were able to decipher the ancient Sumerian language was just like a receipt
Oh yeah.
that's just got buried. And I think even the Rosetta Stone is not all that important of information.
No, but it is what it stands for is good. What it was able to translate all the different languages. That's how we got hieroglyphs.
Yeah. But the actual, what it's actually saying is probably just like,
I have no idea actually. I think I looked it up once, but I don't remember now.
I think, yeah,
I think it was like
just wasn't
rules
important.
or guide. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Or a lot of the writing we have from ancient Rome is when they did all that graffiti, and it was just like, Rod has a small cock.
Yeah.
And
Jimmy was here. Jimmy's a fucktard, and they're like, Jimmy's not a fucktard.
I fucked your sister.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Romans.
Like, even in Shakespearean, which is obviously later, but even Shakespeare, he would always make some, like, I guess he's kind of a
Oh, he's dirty.
more or less Yo Mama joke founder.
He's a dirty man.
One of the characters he wrote was like, not in front of my mother, and the other one's like, I've done your mother. And it's like, Shakespeare. That's
Great.
funny. Yeah.
Great, yeah.
I fucked your mom. Fuck you.
Hey, man, all that old art back then had to be illuminating and funny.
Yeah.
You know, there's only so much art.
They're still humans. I think one of the things I've gathered from all of that is that when you look back at ancient Rome and Greece, my first thought was like, oh, these are like a civilization that is very, I don't know, boring and standard. They went to war and all that stuff, that's interesting. But they weren't goofballs. And then you find out, oh, yeah, no, they like dicks and they think it's funny. Like,
Yeah, dicks are funny to everybody.
it's hilarious.
Farts. Yeah.
So wait, who are we learning about?
Wernher Von Braun.
Who's that?
Who's a guy? Let me pull my notes.
Vernon Von Braun?
Vern.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
Vern.
And this was Tony's request.
Yes.
There's a tie in there. Engineering. Engineers.
Ooh.
That's it.
Famous engineer?
Quite.
What did he engineer?
Boats. I think. I don't know.
You didn't do the research?
I don't know. I read about it. I wrote it down. So Wernher Von Braun. I mean, we'll get into it, but he's a former Nazi science guy.
Former Nazi. He
Wow.
That's part of the fun.
That's part
The
of it.
little
Yeah.
bit that I actually know about his personal life, outside of the sciences.
yeah.
See, and that's
He's crazy.
yeah. I didn't even dare put even my estimations of a lot of the science in here. Some of it, but it's mostly his personal shit.
Nice.
I think we've talked about in my brief foray in college. I was a humanities guy.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't so good with the science.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's start. March 23rd of 1912.
Okay, so we're talking about Titanic. It's about ready to ship and sink. World
Right.
War One's on
Yep,
its way.
right before World War One.
Yeah.
All the lead-up events have
Shit's
already
kicking
begun.
off.
Where's he at? He's in Germany?
Germany, Prussia, technically. And actually, now that I realize, March 12th, that's pretty soon, eh? It's almost his birthday.
Weird.
Oh, man.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Werner.
Yeah.
So, that's actually why I said my name was Ava Brontosaurus.
Oh, you're going to tell us now?
Yeah, there's a tie into that. So Ava Braun is Hitler's girlfriend, wife.
Oh, yeah.
Who killed herself along with him.
I always forget her name. Yeah.
You pronounce her name Braun in America, or if you're in the West, but it's Brown if you're in Germany.
Huh.
His name is because most people, if you watch like a documentary that's made in America, they're gonna call him Wernher Von Braun,
You want to know?
but in Germany it'd be Wernher Von Braun. So that's what we're doing.
I always thought the W's were turned to V's and not the other way around. Like Volkswagen.
Yeah, the W's are V's, so his name's Werner. Yeah.
Was it? But it starts with a W, I take it?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was Vernon, so I'm totally
Oh.
catching all up here.
Yeah, that's all right. So,
I'm an idiot.
what's his name? Vern Troy. Is that his name? The little guy that
Troyer.
killed himself.
Yeah.
Vernon Troyer or Vern Troyer?
I can't remember now. He dies, and then we forget him completely.
You should do people time on.
He was such a small thought.
That's so mean.
Yes!
Ah,
He's dead, and I shit on it.
I'm gonna moonwalk my way out of this conversation. Just gonna shit.
Homer in the hedges. Just kind of
Yeah.
sneak out.
Fade back through.
I wasn't here for that. All right, well, his whole name, because he comes from aristocracy, or Prussian aristocracy.
So he's rich.
So his name is Wernher Magnus Maximilian Wernher Von Braun.
Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay.
As people think
Yeah.
they're so important.
I want 12 middle names, please.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like his dad's name is Baron Magnus Alexander Maximilian von Braun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his mom is Baroness Emmy von Quinstrop.
So they're pretty high
Von
up in
Braun.
status.
Yeah.
Ish.
Barons.
Barons.
It's like a mid-level aristocracy.
Okay.
You know, you got land and some eminence, but
You're not.
you're not running the place.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that means you do come with, like a lot of our topics from Europe, estates, servants, horses, fancy Tupperware, probably.
Yeah.
Or maybe not Tupperware, but it's like cups and stuff.
Yeah.
Are really ornate.
Or possibly automobiles.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's coming out.
Yeah. I don't know when that came out. I haven't done the guy.
Henry Ford did the U.S. I don't think he was the first. I think someone else did automobiles before Henry
No,
Ford.
it's
but Henry Ford did
Dr. Model T.
Yeah.
The Dr. Model T.
Who linked up
His name
with
is Model T.
with Mr. Wheels. Tom Wheels.
Tom Wheels. Justice for Tom Wheels.
We're hitting some old references.
That's old as hell. That's fun. I think I talked about Tom Wheels in the Wright Brothers episode, and Werner loved the Wright Brothers. He referenced them in his speeches all the time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's born Prussian aristocracy. His dad does banking and owns a bunch of farming shit. He owns a bunch of farms and investments in farms. So they're very well off.
Okay.
And he's one of those kid geniuses that we...
Oh, did he start off showing it right away?
Yeah, he was about 4 years old. He could read the newspaper upside down.
Oh, definitely couldn't do that when I was 4. So yeah.
I don't think I
Why
could
did
do
you?
that now.
Why would you? Hold on. Let me flip this upside down. I can still read it.
Yeah, it's a 4-year-old. How do you know he's not just holding it wrong? And he doesn't know. And he just says, I'm reading it, Papa. He's like, whoa, my kid's smart.
I'm writing that down.
Look at that. My kid's smart.
Yeah.
His brothers, not that smart. Not that clever.
Does he have multiple brothers?
He's got 2 brothers. I'm bringing that up because his dad even described his Werner's brothers as clever, like ordinary people, but that Werner's a genius.
Oh wow.
That's pretty funny.
That's what every kid wants to hear is how ordinary you are compared to your brother.
Why can't you be more like your brother, you idiot? You're just so normy. Ugh.
You read the newspaper the right side up.
God, you're
You
so,
loser.
so basic.
It's like ordinary people.
I'm
huh?
starting to wonder if the dad was reading it upside down and he was like, "No, Dad, look, just
Dad, what the hell? Oh,
Oh shit.
go tell your ordinary brothers about this."
I've been doing this my whole life. He was very musically inclined too. He learned how to play like Brahms and Mozart really, really early, and became a composer by the time he was like 12.
There seems to always be something like that when it comes to like child prodigies. They're always like, also besides just learning everything quickly, like reading the stuff that everyone does, but
Yeah.
also give me an instrument and watch me work it.
Yeah, they just have like an overactive mind,
Yeah.
and you give them something, they get good at it. I don't know.
Yeah, I've been playing the guitar for 12 years and I only know 3 songs and it's out of time, so
Well, Yeah,
I'm less than the ordinary kid.
I think if we took a test, I would not be interested to know where I land on the bell curve of human talent.
Yeah, I don't want him to see those results. This is research
No.
I don't want to do.
I'm not interested in that. I'll just leave it as is.
We'll never know.
It's a mystery. We'll never know. We don't need to know. He was also like a kid. It seems like his biography does like to emphasize his interest in rocketry and explosions and fireworks.
Yeah, well, where were we at right now in this time frame for rocketry, though? Like, we're talking about still pretty early if it's...
Well, there's no rockets. I mean, there's like little rockets and there's missiles,
Right.
but not anything that's going to get you very like into the upper atmosphere or anything like that.
Yeah, not long range even.
And nothing that can actually steer after it's lit.
No.
Right, you just point it and hope that it...
Just ballistic at this point. Point it and hope it goes straight.
Hope.
Hope it doesn't blow up in your face.
Hope is the main word there. Yeah. So this is he was so interested in. I mean, again, they describe it as rocketry because it's Von Braun's biography, but I see an 11-year-old kid with explosives
Yeah.
and a cart. So him and his brother strapped 4 of these quote unquote rockets to the back of his wagon and shot him down the road. In which he said that he was ecstatic. The wagon was wholly out of control and trailing a comet tail of fire.
Wait, it actually pushed the wagon?
Yeah.
Oh my
Because
god.
this is back when you could buy cocaine at the corner store. I imagine
It was given to you by doctors, probably.
you could get some pretty hefty explosive devices that they just give to kids.
I was gonna say, did he actually make these, or like kind of put them together, or was it something he just bought already?
He bought them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if you buy a rocket set up for a kid now, except 100 years ago when they weren't concerned about personal safety.
Yeah. Here, this
That's how
is
it
uranium. Go play with it.
He said, "My rockets were performing beyond my wildest dreams. Finally, they burned themselves out with a magnificent thunderclap, and the vehicle rolled to a halt. The police took me into custody very quickly. Fortunately, no one had been injured, so I was released to the Minister of Agriculture, who happened to be my father.
Oh.
So it's also good to be...
Fuck the police. I'm having fun.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy, though. Like, I love that this is the idea that the second you realize that you can use this for propulsion, that's what you do. You strap it to something, and then you get on top of it, and you're like, hey, light the fucker. Let's go.
I want to ride this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like in the windstorms when we tried the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that was so dangerous.
What'd you guys
Let's
use?
take a sheet and a skateboard
Yeah.
and see how fast we can go down this road.
We used roller skates
Yeah.
and a sheet. Yeah.
We did rollerblades and those like little kiddie pools.
Oh, wow.
Well, it didn't work super well because you put it up and the wind was so strong it'd all push it down.
Yeah, 'cause it's too heavy.
But if you could kind of get it like at least in the middle and you held up part way, it'd push you around a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, really, it was a lot about your commitment because I know some kids would duct tape the sheet to their hands and feet. I would just hold it and just kind of hope for the best.
Yeah. Do you guys use any kind of padding at all in case you ate it?
No.
No. It's
That's
just...
actually how we got shut down the first time.
Oh no. What
Mutual
happened?
friends jumping on the trampoline during a windstorm
Ugh,
with the sheets.
They
And
just,
when one kid floats towards the road, like, everybody's freaking out.
like,
It wasn't rockets on a wagon. God.
yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't that reckless. Come on.
Come on.
Kid's fine.
What are the chances that he's gonna get run over by a car?
That's the thing. People are so worried about children's safety. Here we are as adults. We all made it.
Yeah.
Except the ones that didn't. I don't even remember their names. What are we so concerned about here?
It must have.
I don't remember the kids that died in elementary school.
It must have
They're
been
dead.
too ordinary to figure it out. We figured it out.
We were clever enough to get out alive. It's just
Survival of the
Darwinism.
fittest, yeah.
So that's the kind of kid he is. His brother tells that story totally different, where he said that the cart hit a bunch of people in a fruit stand.
Oh, which one's true? Because I like that. That's more
Probably
fun.
that one. I
And
mean,
then he downplayed it because he's like, oh, well, I got taken
Wernher-
with the cops, so I had to tell him like, it's
You
not-
don't get arrested for a successful test.
right?
Yeah,
where
right?
where it comes to a slow stop. Like, no, it's gonna hit somebody.
Yeah.
That's why you're in
And
cuffs. you
maybe
a
Edison
12-year-old.
was there and he was like checking out the video camera and he was all like, hitting the fruit stand, this is hilarious. And then that became a thing in movies later, all the time.
That's a smart idea.
Yeah.
You know comedy when you see it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like the Three Stooges. They would actually beat the shit out of each other and like, this is really funny.
Can someone record this?
This is really funny. I really hate you two. Let's record this.
I'm gonna slap you and then we're gonna record it. Be great.
Well, yeah, he again. I don't know. It just feels like telling the same story over and over again on this show. Sometimes he was not good in school. He didn't like going to school. He did poorly in math and physics.
What?
He wasn't interested in it.
Is it because it was just kind of like beneath him kind of a thing? Like I've got better things to do.
Yeah, he was more into playing with his rockets for silly purposes, and he was more into music.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was that he was bad at it. He just wasn't interested.
Yeah, I get that.
Until his mom gave him a telescope. And like a lot of kids back then, he started reading sci-fi, pulp fiction
Right.
books. And he was like, I can combine this with my love of explosions, and decided to think about rocketry. And that's when he started getting interested in it, when he was about 13 or 14.
Yeah. While he's composing some things, like, I'm going to blow something up.
Yeah, I like to think of it as your run-of-the-mill kid likes explosions,
Yeah.
and he also has a separate interest in getting to the moon.
So he actually does want to go to the moon. He has that idea. Does he
By
have
his teenage years, yeah, he'd made up his mind that was his life goal, was to get to the moon.
This is around Einstein time too. So did he know like the physics enough to be able to say like, yeah, it's totally possible, and we got to break through a certain.
Not well. He did after he read what was like the book on rocketry at the time by Herman Oberth called "Rocket into Interplanetary Space." He bought it because it's supposed to describe how to take a rocket into space.
Is it supposed to be a scientific book, or is it supposed to be more of a?
That's actually where his brain turned. He was dismayed that it was full of math.
He's like, what is this? This is not cool.
So at the age of like 15, he devoted himself to math so he could understand the book, so he could get himself to the moon.
Hell yeah. Okay, cool.
So when he put his piano away, put his kitty toys away, and he hit the books.
Nice.
Yeah. If you're listening to this, dabbler, and you're young, hit the books.
And then blow shit up.
Blow shit up. Hey, you might be able to become a Nazi, and then it'll be forgiven later.
Oh, this is gonna get
Kinda
interesting. I don't know. I like how there's a pause. Like, sorta.
Kinda.
I think it's interesting because we're recording this during the early part of World War III.
Right.
Yeah. We should say that in case you're listening to this in a pile of rubble, or you found a Wi-Fi signal somehow. I don't know why you're listening to this shit, but
Well,
if it's World War III and you're in a pile of rubble, listen to something else.
I was gonna say if you're in Ukraine, supposedly, what's his name?
Musk?
Tesla guy. Yeah, Musk put out his satellite above them so they couldn't knock out their
Starlink.
Yeah, Starlink.
Yeah, I fucking hate that guy, but that was a good gesture.
You know,
He also adjusted the software in it so they can run it off of like a car battery.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
They pushed a software update remotely so he can just plug it into like
That's fucking
like
bananas.
a cigarette lighter.
Jesus Christ.
It's a good way to unite the world behind one idea, where
Yeah.
we don't have to fucking hate each other. We just have to hate Russians. Even that, I don't even hate the Russians. They don't even want to be there.
Yeah.
It's just the one fucking guy.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Mm.
And to that point, I don't know when this episode's coming out, probably soon, but I did this research the week that Russia invaded Ukraine.
That's gotta be a hard time to do research.
I've been pretty distracted.
Yeah.
So
It's a hard one.
And you're on some extra lists now.
Yeah, am I?
The FBI is very interested in you now.
Oh.
Doing rocketry research when they're
Well,
literally using rockets.
So
Why is he so interested in the beginnings of rocket?
Why is this guy whose whole internet search history is porn and cartoons suddenly really into rocket?
Porn and cartoons.
We better-
Sometimes a mixture.
Usually, yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle porn? What?
Yeah, I'm not into that anime stuff. More like 90s cartoons
Right.
redone.
Right.
Like The Simpsons and...
Sure, yeah. Especially when there's a crossover, right? When it's like The Simpsons and Rugrats. I don't know why.
Rugrats!
I was trying to think of 90s cartoons, and that's just what came out of my face. I'm super sorry about that.
Oh my god. I think the dad's name was Phil Pickles?
Something like
Stan Pickles?
that. It's Stu.
Stu Pickles just giving it to Wilma Flintstone.
Yeah.
Just giving her the rocks.
Invent this. So I think he's an inventor of some kind.
I don't know.
Yeah, he comes up with a whole bunch of stupid inventions for the
Yeah.
whole show
Hey.
that are supposed to help the kids raise themselves, as near as we can tell, right?
Which is funny
where he does
because,
less parenting.
Yeah.
as I say, the entire time he's doing this, he's away from his kids while they're. Oh,
What a great show.
yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of remember it.
Yeah, I haven't...
Then they name their baby Dill, like Dill Pickles. Jesus.
Just really
That's
on
a
my
child
head, huh?
abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kids hosed for life.
Well, luckily, he's a smart guy. When you're interested in something and it ends up being just math, you apply yourself to it, you're smart enough to figure it out. It's dope.
Was he pretty good once he started applying it? Like, did he?
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, like his dad
Some
said,
people
he's
have all
a
the
genius.
talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figures out what an integral's for, and life gets easier.
I don't even know what an integral is, let alone what it's for.
Numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's magic with numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, please chime in with science at any point if
Yes.
you want.
Integrals are boring, but I can explain them to you if you'd like.
So let's how about this? Like, I'm assuming you haven't read Herman Oberth's book because I'm sure it's outdated info. But let's say, what is your guess is the math that would be in it?
So I'm assuming most of the math is based on the trying to find out what the later named von Karman line is. And what they want to know is when you can get far enough out that the Earth's pull doesn't balance anymore.
Right.
So essentially when you're in space.
When you say balance, meaning it's no longer a gravitational pull on that object?
There's always a gravitational pull, but the momentum that you have balances the gravitational pull. So then you get into like a satellite orbit.
Right.
So they're trying to speculate mathematically, like, what would be the technical line of,
Yes.
now you're in space.
But that's only to just get, not to the moon, but just to orbit, right?
Just get out
Earth?
Yeah, but momentum in space, once you actually have anything built up, you don't lose it because you're not fighting like air pressure anymore.
Yeah.
So once you get to, the theory was once you get to the von Karman line, you really don't need much more fuel to get to the moon.
Oh.
You can use the moon to then circle back, and you need a little bit of fuel to aim back towards Earth.
Okay. So does that line exist today? Is that an actual thing? So
von Karman didn't actually define it, I believe, until after, I think that was well after this. I wrote my thesis on von Karman.
He's a guy.
Oh,
okay.
I should know a little bit more, but it's approximately 100 kilometers.
Weird.
Yeah, that's what's always freaks me out is that space is not as far away from you as you think.
No.
It's really not.
A couple miles?
Yeah.
I don't know what a kilometer is.
Well, like you're
Like
a regular.
around 50 miles.
Oh, 50 miles. Okay.
So a regular like commercial plane goes up like 5 or 6 miles up,
They can go up to 7 or 8.
and so the space is just a few more miles above that.
It's really, you've used so much power to get that far when you look at the gravitational force. It's not that much harder to get so the Vomit Comet, they could probably get to low Earth orbit with it.
Oh, what's the Vomit Comet?
It's a stripped out, really big airplane they use to train NASA astronauts.
Oh, where they go with
They go up
zero
and
G.
down,
Yeah.
so they can do 0G for
I
30 or 40 seconds at a time.
I didn't put it in my notes because it felt kind of silly, but Brown in the 70s got in one of those. So you
Yep.
could experience 0G.
That's cool. I want to do that.
I saw the one that I thought was cool was Stephen Hawking's.
Oh, yeah.
When you could see that big ass grin on his face.
Yeah.
Crazy, he's finally weightless.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool to go there. I would not. Thank you very much.
Did he go to a specific school, or is this just a normal like high school he's going to now for his education on math?
Let's see what my notes say. This is literally from my notes. After high school,
Ooh.
Brown went to Berlin's Charlotteburg Institute of Technology to study mechanical and aircraft engineering, and he also became the apprentice to the man who wrote the book that inspired him, Herman Oberth.
He actually got to meet the guy who wrote the book he was reading.
Yeah, that's the reason he went to that school.
He became his apprentice.
Yeah.
That's got to be like your childhood dream, even if you're a genius or not, but you're working your way up into the field you want to go into,
Yeah.
and the person who kind of got you interested in is still out there working, and you're like, I want to come work with you, pal.
You are bright enough and smart enough for him to be like, yeah, you could be my apprentice.
That is cool.
Because, like, if I had done that with my childhood hero and met Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm definitely not.
Yeah, you'd be a karate master.
No, I wouldn't have the chops.
Oh, you wouldn't
Literally
make it
or
'cause
figuratively.
He'd be like, nah, you're too normy.
For one, not a turtle.
Yeah.
For two, you don't know how to use nunchucks. Your body's bruised. But Mike,
But you can wear a hockey mask. You could be like
Ooh,
the
Casey.
that's true too.
is that the second movie sidekick?
Yeah.
Could be Casey Jones.
He's my
Guy who
favorite.
tries to move in on
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 April.
April. There you go.
Yeah, I think he gets her at the end.
Yeah, you gotta know what a crumpet is before you know what a cricket is.
Right before he murders or thinks he murders Shredder
Yeah.
with just a
Whoops.
classic American film. Everybody,
We've mentioned it 1,000 times.
every episode.
Go watch it.
So Herman Oberth, at least at the time, was considered one of 3 preeminent rocket scientists in the world, next to the American Robert Goddard and the Russian Konstantin Tsiolkovsky.
Mm-hmm. That sounds pronounced correctly.
So it was a pretty big deal. I mean, not only, like we said, you meet your hero, but now you're in the fold and you're in the...
Now you are the hero. You're one of the heroes soon.
Holy shit.
You're going to be the guy that people are going to be like, I want to go work with that guy.
Is that what they were talking about in the Foo Fighters? Wernher Von Braun?
Oh, Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
Like the literal, the airships that go and...
It was all connected in my mind. There goes my hero.
There goes
Foo
my
Fighters
hero.
and flying and
Because of propulsion rocket. You're faster than I am. I'm sorry. You have to give me a second to like put the pieces together.
oh no, it's not smart. It's that I free associate like 3 or 4 ideas and then vomit them all at once, and they're not actually
I feel like
related.
it's good. I think they are. Yeah.
It's too stupid. Well, they were part of a society dedicated to the endeavor of spaceship travel. It was him and a bunch of other academics, led by his mentor Oberth. Their whole goal was to fundraise money for rocket research because the government was really not interested in going to space so much as making bombs out of the tech they come up with.
Of course. Is this like also because you say there's also a lot of math? Is there like specific people that are like math oriented, like this is how you do it, and then there's people that are like, here's the material that's needed to be able to get that kind of explosion that's the right kind?
Oh, it's all the same
So
science.
everybody's involved. Okay.
So when you in engineering, because I studied the exact same things,
Yeah.
you have to learn all the basics of the math, and then usually like when you're finishing engineering, you learn the material parts
Yeah.
or how to actually make the pieces. So he went because and I can't remember his name, Otterman,
Who?
his
His
mentor.
mentor?
Oh, Oberth.
Oberth. He went there because Oberth was working on it, but I'm assuming when he went there, it was basically, no, you need to take 2 years of math and science classes, and then you can come
Yeah,
be
you
an
need-
apprentice.
It's like, ah, damn it.
You need the groundwork first,
You got to put in the work, kids.
and then afterwards you then go, okay, this is the right material to get this kind of result, and then you add this kind of material on top of it to get
Yeah.
the next. Okay.
You have to be a cart pusher to become a bagger.
The good news though is you can put rockets on your cart and get you there faster.
To kill all the
Once-
old ladies who are shopping in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But bag first, you're right.
You got to start at the bottom.
Creepy old ladies shopping in the middle of the day.
Ugh.
That's an old reference to a former job.
They're the worst.
Oh.
Yeah, Tony and I both used to work at Albertsons.
How was that?
Back when it was actually called Albertsons.
Yeah, I don't even think they're Albertsons anymore.
Yeah.
I think it's called Associated Foods now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
It was
A
good
fresh
time.
markets.
That's right, fresh markets.
Yeah.
So, what's fun is this Society for Spaceship Travel, which is what it was called, but in German, which I didn't write down.
Nothing. I just realized this whole time that. Go on.
What they would do to make money is they would blow shit up. They would make little rockets to explain the technology to people.
Can I just say that
Blow 'em
sounds
up.
like the coolest way to make money?
But
the
also-
way they make money is blow shit up.
I mean, this is like we were saying, we don't have the ability to fly or control them yet.
Yeah.
They're not radio controllable. They're really just explosives strapped to a piece of plastic or metal that they shoot into the air, and then it hits a building or a person, and everybody is just really stoked.
And people are paying to
Paying
watch
to
it.
come watch it. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's partly educational. They sort of explain it, but of course everybody there is not paying attention. They're just there for the.
Right. There's someone going like, "Here's the math." And they're like, "Hey, sit down, stupid! I'm trying to watch the explosion."
Light it on fire already.
Fireworks!
Yeah.
Do the boom. Do the boom fun.
Ocean's coming this way, Doctor. No, this is so great. You're like,
People's lives back then, like the physical danger around every corner, is just a much better world.
because I think everybody's had that experience with on a very small scale with fireworks, where a firework got launched at you,
Yeah, oh yeah.
sometimes on purpose, and
Yeah, I've had both.
yeah, it's fun and scary.
Only
Well-
if you have the best of friends do they shoot fireworks directly at you.
Exactly.
Well, see, what's fun is usually what they're shooting at you is either, what is it, the
Roman
Roman candle
candles.
or the bottle rocket.
Bottle rockets.
Those hurt like hell, the bottle rockets do, if they pop on you. But the big ones that are supposed to go into the air and explode,
Yeah.
when that falls over
That's happening.
and shoots at you, that's not fun.
It's every man for themselves. You will run over children and dive to get
Yeah, I believe I ran past my wife like, fuck this!
get down. That's all the help you get is me shouting
that's-
commands.
That's like blow your face off type of fun, type of American fun.
Yeah. Yeah, we hid behind a car that just was getting shot at by a firework that fell over, so we're all just back there. And it's just
Shit,
pop, pop,
shit,
pop, pop,
shit.
pop.
That happens so much when, I don't know if it's Salt Lake specifically or Utah allowed the big ones a few years ago, and we didn't know how to use them.
Yeah. Turns out they're also not very sturdy, it seems like.
No.
It's like a very tall tube on a very thin stand
Yeah.
that's just like, I hope this stays open.
Well, and every road when you drove past on July the 5th had a pile of rocks because that's what people were using to hold the shit up.
Yeah, it's already happened to them once.
If you read the
God.
package, it always says use bricks to
Yep.
Yeah.
If you have
Fortify.
bricks, and they're like, we don't. We have some decorative rocks.
engineers write up instructions, and everybody's like, yeah.
I was about to say, people
Okay,
read those?
just set it out there in there and light it off.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll probably go up.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, when you think about if it falls over, the likelihood it's going to fall towards us is less likely than hitting the neighbor's house. And I hate my neighbor.
Yeah.
Fucking hate all my
Matter of fact, let's just go and knock it over right now and aim it at our neighbor.
kick it.
Fuck you!
Hey, happy 4th of July, fuckface. Well, what's fun about this is at pretty much exactly the same time, in the real world, while Wernher's blowing shit up for fun, that's exactly what Jack Parsons is doing back in America.
I was going to say.
Same thing. He's going to college. He's in a space group, and they're just blowing shit up.
Blowing up their own school. If I
calling it
remember, they
science.
took off like some small chunk of a building or something.
Yep. Like a whole half a corner of a building. Well, I think it was like a fucking library.
And they're like, we'll pay you money, but you got to do this somewhere else.
Yeah. So they are experimenting with, and I didn't put too much info in here because it's out of my realm of science, but they're using liquid fuel shell rockets.
So what's a liquid fuel? I only think of gasoline or maybe like some sort of...
I couldn't find exactly. I mean, some of the stuff I looked at did say the chemicals. I didn't know what they were.
So it's usually in a liquid fueled rocket, you need something that burns slower than gasoline. It's more like diesel fuel,
Oh, okay.
but you actually try to thicken it.
Okay. And that's just to make it so that... Is this to like give it more power but without an explosion? Like it actually thrust? Or is this for...
Yeah, so gasoline would auto-ignite and blow up the container much easier.
Yeah.
Whereas even like in engines, right, diesel fuel burns slower.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the point, is you want it to burn slow and continuous, which is actually the reason that eventually the U.S. switched away from liquid-fueled rockets.
Oh. Okay.
We still have some.
We
but
use solid fuel rockets now?
yes.
For like NASA and shit? Or just in general, like for even like...
NASA has both. The boosters that they put on the side of the
big...
the new rocket developed by ATK for NASA is solid fueled. The 5-stage rocket, the huge, bigger round one.
Yeah.
The one that you've most likely seen launching the shuttle recently, the two reddish colored, those are solid boosters. And then the shuttle actually uses liquid fuel because liquid fuel you can typically throttle. That's about the only difference.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't have just an explosion, but
You
you
can't
can kind of...
shove solid.
You can't stop the reaction once the solid's lit on fire. It's going.
Yeah.
That's surprising to me because, everything I saw in here, that was sort of Wernher's thing was I guess the scientific switch at the time from a type of solid to a liquid was like, whoa, we figured out rocketry.
Yeah.
It's funny that we switched back once it became more precise.
Well, it seems like it's just now more aimed at what it's going to be best to use for. So you use the liquids when you need to be more precise and want to steer and guide, maybe.
Yeah, which is actually which makes sense because what ends up happening here is, and they're shooting off rockets. They're maybe a couple of feet tall types of, high end. If you go to a toy store,
I was gonna say it's the
$200
nerdy kids
ones
at the park who
Yes.
I actually want to go hang out with.
Except those, like, I don't know what fuel those use. I've never shot one of those off when I was a kid. We used the air pump ones.
Yeah.
But I don't know what kind of fuel. Like if you go to a hobby store, what you're putting in there.
They're kind of expensive because I was
I think
actually
they're
gonna buy
still
some.
using steam for the most part.
Yeah, I
They
don't.
just use it more efficiently.
You can't fucking give a kid a canister full of lighter fluid. Or
They
whatever
have
the
some
fuck.
stuff. Actually, at the planetarium, they sell some at our local planetarium. They have they look like little. They're different colored, and each one has something written different on it. And I didn't take the time to read what they were, but they have little charges, little explosives that you can stick on. But they're kind of expensive. Like I'm not sure if that's just because it's a
Oh, I bet.
a hobby that when you get into it,
It's a rich kid hobby,
yeah.
which is why I use the air pump ones.
Like to get started, you're spending like $200 just to like get the full package.
Oh, easily, yeah. Because these are things that are designed to not explode when they could.
I would have thought that they were using those CO2 cartridges.
You probably do still have those too, I'm sure, because they had a whole bunch of array things. Even just like you pump up like a 2-liter bottle. Of, yeah.
Yeah.
I know that, or I'm
Like,
fairly certain that they're not going to give kids rocketry components that have that you can light on fire.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Like
Yeah.
I don't. They wouldn't even design those for like nobody under 18 would be able to buy them.
Yeah.
It'd be like buying a lighter.
Now, because you're doing rocket stuff,
Yes.
related with all that. Did you go out and do this kind of stuff? Did you go do the whole rocket in the park and
All those types of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah? And was there times where you experimented by like, I'm gonna make my own?
Yeah, but not very successfully.
What happened?
You like 99% of the time it blows up
Just
on the
explodes.
ground. That's
Let's
how rocketry for even all the way up into World War II that we're gonna get into. That happens like way
lot.
more than it should.
Right.
Oh yeah.
You're dealing with explosives.
Explodes on the ground, kills the 14 people that were working there, and we started over.
There we go.
Did anybody write down what that mixture was?
Well, gotta look.
Let's not use that one anymore.
not do that.
Yeah, the guy who's dead wrote it down, and it was in his pocket.
Fuck. All right, let's just start over.
All right,
Give me 14
more.
guys.
Yeah. 14 other guys were watching all the time. Like, oh God,
Oh man.
I'm up next. I'm on deck.
We better be successful this time.
Well, I mean, if it's World War II, you have a limitless supply of POW slaves and
Sure, yeah.
Jewish people to just throw at
Hey,
stuff.
go light that thing over there for us. Go do it.
Do it or I'll kill your entire family.
I'll let
This
you go.
is science. Well, so this was so important to them because I guess this was the only like rocket society in Germany at the time. They even got published that they had 85 successful rockets that went up to altitudes of 1,200 feet of free flight.
Whoa.
Enough so that this got and I guess that's impressive. I guess for the time and
Seems-
place.
I don't know, because here I am. Whenever I think of these scenarios where it's like they're the ones who are pioneering this, my thoughts are, this is me out there. I'm dumber, obviously, but if I get to go 1,200 feet, I'm like, fuck yeah. So if you're the first people to get that, you're probably like, shit, yeah.
Yeah, and it has to be impressive because the German military, which is the Weimar military at the time, I mean we're pre-Nazi here. This is after World War I, pre-World War II. That military was interested in the rockets because after World War I, Germany had to go through a demilitarization where the Versailles Treaty said no tanks, no.
They had to apologize. Yeah, get in that little caboose,
That little
and,
boxcar.
and then like sign it. We suck. We're sorry. It was
sorry.
all our fault. And then Hitler.
They didn't mean it the whole time. Well, the Versailles Treaty specifically said you cannot have a navy, you can't have an air force.
How do you
can't
do
have-
that to a country? That's
just
crazy.
Strip them of their. Well, I mean,
And you're ugly.
it's like
Sign
that,
it.
It's like that. I don't know if I've told this before because Norm Macdonald recently died, and I love Norm.
Norm,
He
yeah.
told this joke where he's like, I don't have a problem with a lot of countries. People talk about North Korea and how scary that is, or Russia. The only country that I know that I'm afraid of is the country called Germany in Europe. I don't know if you've heard of it, but twice they said, let's go to war with everyone.
Yeah.
Let's go to war with the world. Like, I can't trust the people like that, even up till now. They're the same thoughts.
I love Norm because his style of humor is, in my opinion, so unique. It seems like most of the time it's like he's one step back, but he's really 10 steps ahead of everybody else.
Yep.
It's crazy listening to that guy.
That's just how he was as a thinker, too.
Yeah.
A strange man.
He would say something, you're like, I don't even know, that's random. Is he keeping up with the conversation? And then like 5
Pulls it
seconds
all
later,
forward.
yeah, you're like, oh,
Holy shit, Norm.
okay, yeah, never mind. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry.
And he's also, there was no line he wouldn't cross.
That's
It was
true.
Scary.
Yeah.
Made a lot of people pretty upset.
Yeah.
I saw Andy Dick on his show got offended, and I don't think Andy Dick has an offended bone in his body.
I don't know. I also think like, yeah, but a year later it all comes back around and he knew that and he was like, actually, he was making a point.
This is
that-
going to be really funny.
I swear to God, it's how he was. The guy was just like way ahead. Years ahead.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. He told so many 9/11 jokes. It's just great.
Yeah.
Got to make fun of everything. Well, the German military at the time, they were taking advantage of this rocket idea because the word rocket is not in the Versailles Treaty because it was written before the technology had really been around and wasn't militarized. So the German army was like, we can use rockets because we didn't say anything about rockets.
Aren't they also making tanks though too and shit? I mean, they do eventually in the 30s.
Yeah, they do in the 30s. Once Hitler gets in control of things, they just throw the Versailles Treaty away anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
they-
actually, at that point, they're making other things, and Hitler basically repurposes all manufacturing. to be military.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit.
The only person who noticed was Chamberlain.
No. It was Winston.
Oh, Churchill. That's right.
Yeah.
It was Chamberlain who...
Chamberlain's the one who ignored it.
Chamberlain's such a jackass.
Yeah.
He's a fucking
Churchill
coward.
was like,
Churchill's doing
they're up there doing something. And then Chamberlain was like, they signed saying they weren't going to attack anybody. We're one, guys. This is great. And then, like, a month later.
I don't remember what it was, if it was a movie or a book I was reading, but yeah, where just Chamberlain, I think he did that like 3 or 4 fucking times. Where like Hitler walked in and took Austria, and then Chamberlain was like, that was not nice.
Hey,
and
guys.
Hitler was like, you know what? You're right. Taking
won't
Austria
do
was
it
wrong.
again.
I'm not going to do it again. And Chamberlain's like, you're a straight shooter. You're a
I
straight
know.
shooter, Hitler.
I can tell. Like, but just by looking at
I know
you.
honesty when I see it.
And then when you do
You're
it
an honest
again
man.
and again, and they just keep having the same talks. It's like that parent that just like yells at their kid but doesn't ever do anything about it. Like, you little shit. And then they keep doing it. Like, well, what do you expect? They know they can get away with it.
Jackass. Chamberlain.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the military gave him a little bit of money to build a few rockets to put on a demonstration. The demonstration went poorly. It literally crashed and burned.
What? Did it go up in the air?
They shot 4 rockets, and none of them went very high, and they all crashed into something and exploded. And it just looked reckless. And
It looked like chaos. Just
as Tony was saying,
Yeah.
it's science.
how it goes.
But it was
Give me 14 more guys
from the military, I guess.
and $2 million.
Also, we need some new viewer. I got some of the people that came here to watch.
Yeah, I need a new audience, please. I burned a lot of their faces off.
And you're gonna have to rebuild that church over there. We're very sorry.
Hopefully this is not such a religious country.
See, and I hope the whole entire time he's just like yelling like it's a success. Like, woo, this
Oh,
is
yeah.
so great. And everyone's like, oh my God.
Brown is that kind of guy where he's like, if it's a failure, we're still learning.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know,
It's
he's an
true.
optimist.
We just
guy.
tested the fire department. That's all.
Yeah.
We were testing their response time. They're like, 18 times a day. Hey, you guys are getting better.
You guys are good.
You're getting faster.
You used to be a lot slower, remember? Remember the first
when you
time?
when you didn't know who we were? You didn't know we were doing this?
Yeah. It was like 10 minutes. Now it's like a minute.
Is it just around the corner?
That's a 90% or that.
So your
Nah.
response time to other parts of the city is lower. I recognize that, but it's not really where it's not my concern.
This is where the
right now.
biggest explosions are happening, anyways. The
There's
biggest
not science
fires.
happening over at Maud's house. Let Maud burn to death. So, but it was actually Brown, who was only 22. He was determined enough to be like, no, this is a good technology. I have a problem with this because so he goes to a colonel and convinces him that it's worth the research, the rocket technology. I have an issue with this because Brown loves to say over and over again that he's into rocketry, not because it's militarized, but because he wants to go to the moon. And obviously, this is his best opportunity to get funding.
I was about to say,
But
maybe
he
that's more.
begs the military to bring him aboard, and they do eventually give them a little.
I mean, if you could be a Ninja Turtle, so you needed the money to be able to make that transformation, and you knew that the only place you can go is to go to the military, and they would, you might be able to convince them, but otherwise, everywhere else, you're not going to get it.
No way, man, because a real Ninja Turtle would never.
You're not a real one yet.
Integrity.
You got to first.
And stuff. Pizza over guns.
Yeah.
We don't use guns.
Ah, fellow chucker, I see.
But yeah, that's what he did. The military employed him and a small group from that rocketry company or group of people, his rocket friends, bunch of nerds.
Rocket pals.
Yeah, the Rocket Pals. That'll work.
He also around this time got
Red
his
Rocket pals. I'm sorry. Go on.
Red Rocket Pals.
Stupid. I'm sorry.
We're above jokes like that.
That would be if it was Soviet.
Oh shit, he's
Yes.
right.
The German Rocket Pals.
I'm just trying to shove my dick joke in. My dick in you guys' story. Dick shoving. Sorry, go ahead.
Dick shoving?
I hadn't heard a good dick joke yet. We're talking about phallic shapes. I'm sure rockets.
That's true. We haven't made a single sex joke.
So
yet.
I'm trying to
That's
shove it in there
surprising.
real quick.
Oh, there'll be more dick jokes
Okay, good.
Yeah, about fucking space.
I was afraid.
because it'll become a my rocket's bigger than yours story, and
Oh, yeah.
that leads right into dick jokes.
And
Yeah.
they're all red tipped.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Sure.
Right. They're not all though.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, either way. That's how I see them in my mind. Like every cartoon that has a rocket, the tip is red. The cartoons I watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's still only 22, and around the same time he got his doctorate in physics with a dissertation about applied liquid-fueled rocketry.
Okay.
The military paid for all this because his paper would obviously be full of what is then military secrets about liquid-fueled rocketry. So his dissertation, if you want to look it up, is called About Combustion Tests.
Oh, so you can actually still.
If you want to, I don't know how accessible it is, or if you have to pay for it. Probably not. It's pretty old, but it's just not called anything about rocketry. It's called About Combustion Tests. So in 1933, one Charlie Chaplin stachio jackass clown person was
Hitler.
appointed Chancellor of Germany.
Yeah.
And let's see, well, he's a doctor now, Dr. Brown.
Oh, he is. He's got his PhD.
Got his PhD. Did not involve himself in politics whatsoever, but he did have to decide if his interest in rocketry was more important than the potential Nazi agenda. Because as the Nazi government took over, obviously now the military is Nazified
Yeah.
the way Ukraine is.
Oh God.
Putin's trying to
not
denazify.
the- yeah.
I'm trying to re-Nazify Ukraine.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Go Ukraine.
Did not see that coming.
I don't think most listeners are going to understand the misinformation part. Of
Sorry.
That. We'd
It
have to
sounds
we'd
like
have to
you're-
go like way deep into the.
No, let's just skip it. Skip it.
You know, never mind.
It's interesting when you talk about it because Hitler did the same thing. It's lie to your people about what's actually going on.
Yeah. Propaganda.
It's not hard to do. People are very easy to trick. For instance, everyone who listens to this show tunes in to be educated?
I don't know what they do,
I don't know.
but they're listening,
I
so
thought it was for the dick jokes.
It's the dick
it's
jokes.
gotta be.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah. They're
fine.
not even that great, but you
Fine
know,
with dicks.
you gotta find a dick joke.
But his dad, Brown Sr., who was the Minister of Agriculture, actually resigned after the Nazis came to power, not wanting to be associated with that.
Oh, he did not like the movement.
Well, even the very early Nazi party was very forthright about being anti-Semitic and
Yeah.
just
Wasn't much of a secret.
very gross politics.
What
Very
is-
retributive.
They're not Jewish or anything, are they?
No, they're Prussian.
No.
But his dad was like, "Oh, that's gross.
Yeah,
I don't want to be part of that."
Well, good on his
So,
dad.
Brown, our guy, doubled down and joined the Luftwaffe.
He did?
Well, he didn't become like a Nazi party member, so there are.
Oh, shit.
What was that?
Just a picture of him with Nazis.
Is he the one in the suit, I take it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It gets worse.
Oh, yeah.
It gets
Much worse.
worse.
So he joins the Luftwaffe as a reservist because if you're going to stay in the military, he's employed in the military as a technician and specialist in rocketry and research.
But
if
to
you're in
blow
the-
people up.
Yeah, if you're in the military, into the Nazi regime, you have to do. There's a conscripted, required military service.
Oh, yeah.
So he did his military service in the Luftwaffe because he wanted to fly planes, and he was really stoked about that.
Okay. So he was obligated to join no matter what?
Yeah,
No.
every.
Well, sorry, yes. If he wants to be in the military to continue his research, he has to join a military arm and serve as a reservist.
I got you. Okay.
And he chose the Luftwaffe. But I mentioned that in the way of saying he's choosing to.
Join Nazism. Yeah.
He's not officially, a party member. He's not in the SS or anything crazy like that. So he flies some planes around. That's actually a big interest of his. He always had a huge rocket in his pants for piloting.
planes.
Yeah.
Seems to be a pretty regular thing for people of that mind state. People who like rockets and flying.
Sorry,
It's the same.
I'm a pilot.
Oh my God, are you really?
Yeah,
Jesus
that's
Christ.
the joke he's making.
Oh, yeah. It's so much fun having someone who's actually like smart on the show with us, who can
For
give
once.
us references and stuff.
Everybody else we've had on the show's an idiot.
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, I think we've only had 2 people on the show.
Yeah, well, we've had someone from England, and at least he can, he gives us insight on
Oh, yeah.
English, kind of.
Yeah, Ryan is an English culture specialist
Yeah, perfect.
because he lives there.
And then we've had a couple friends on that are nobody like us,
Well, we have my
but
brother
they're
on.
funny.
My brother, who's an English professor,
he's
we
actually
had him
smart
on
too.
for a poetry
So
night.
I guess what I'm saying is Justin What the fuck?
Bring more to the table.
Yeah. I'm just kidding, buddy. He's listening to that going, what the fuck?
That was a fun episode.
You assholes.
Justin and I remember, I actually don't remember the episode because Justin and I got fucking wasted.
Yeah, he brings in the humor.
Mm-hmm. It's a good time.
That's the specialist he's got.
Yeah. If you're curious, it's the episode on, what's her name?
The Henny Shaft, I think.
No, it was your
Oh, was it?
Nazi spy, I think, actually. The White Rabbit girl?
Oh, right, yeah. I always get the two mixed up because they're kind of similar.
Yeah.
Esque-ish.
Anti-Nazis.
And not because they're women. That's not what I'm saying.
Like, oh, that's just
They're similar because they have vaginas.
No. They're both, anti-Nazi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember her name.
I don't know. We did a whole episode on her.
Doesn't matter. Yeah, I think it's the drunkest I've ever gotten on People Time, if you're curious about that. I don't remember that episode. Well, so we are through into the 1930s now. Dr. Brown is developing rockets that are called, they're part of the A program. So let me find out my notes for that.
What do you mean by A program?
So A,
the V2's coming up.
yeah,
V2.
V2.
V. Okay, so that
Still the main rocket used by the Soviets.
Oh.
So here is how creative German is. They start creating rockets, and because rockets are very technical, the term for a technical machine in German is aggregate. Like in English, we say an aggregate is a jumble of things. It's an aggregate of things.
Okay.
So the word...
We do. You guys don't. I didn't know that, man.
But in German, aggregate means a set of technical machines, which
Huh.
is their word for rocket because they're Prussian. They're very precise people.
Oh.
It's kind of ridiculous, too, because aggregate of things is fuel and spark.
Yeah.
That's their idea of, yeah.
These level of rockets are not... They're not very advanced.
No.
It sounds like when someone gets into a new position and they want to like give it a cool title, but
Exactly.
really the title that they're actually taking is just manager. But they're like, no, I need to sound cooler. I'm the supreme supervisor of the front end management
Executive
team.
kick-ass.
Yeah, and you're like, you're just a manager.
Or it's like your first car you bought when you were a teenager and you call it the fuckmobile.
But there's no fucking
There's no
going
fucking
on.
going on there.
It's at best it's you saying fuck because you don't get any pussy in that car.
Yeah. So these is the A class of rockets. So you got A1, A2, and A3, and these are, rudimentary. You could strap a warhead to it if you want, but it's not going to go that far.
You might be blowing up
there's
your own shit.
Just as good a chance you're going to blow up the 14 people that work for you.
It wasn't until they developed the A4 that basically the A4 is a V2 with a warhead. So I don't know too much technically about what distinguishes the A3 from the A4, other than the fact that the A4, it's got liquid fuel rocket engines, supersonic aerodynamics, gyroscopic guidance, and rudders.
Gyroscopic guidance.
Gyroscopic?
Gyroscopic.
Yeah. I was going
Gyroscope.
gyro.
Like a euro.
Like a
I
euro.
was thinking Euroscopic.
They don't use sandwiches to steer
They
'em.
use much lamb and feta.
They use deliciousness to help make sure.
I don't like lamb. But
You don't like euros?
not so much. I don't like Greek food that much. It's one of the only types of food I don't like because I
Greek food is
love
delicious. Yeah.
food. I don't know.
So
Not enough flavor for me. I don't,
Yeah,
Like
so-
I don't want to get like sidetrack the whole episode, but it's like,
I don't
hey,
know.
look here's some meat with maybe some garlic taste.
It just seems
love Greek food.
sweaty lamb and feta. Ugh.
You're wrong, but
Give me some
so if
cheddar.
it's gyroscope, does that mean that it actually is like stable and it goes farther? Is it steerable at all?
Yes.
Okay,
At this
so-
point, they are steerable.
Okay.
This was the first implementation of steerable rockets.
The A4 is also here on out being called the V2. It's huge tech.
Yeah.
Pretty world changing. Because you had, before this, we really were just putting combustibles at the bottom of a metal cylinder, kind of crossing your fingers.
Yeah.
Hoping you got the right mixture and the thing holds together. The V2 is, you could tell where to go.
Yeah.
And it shoots at insane speeds.
That way.
It goes so fast that it breaks the sound barrier if you get a good ride on it. So if you hit somebody with it, they don't even hear it coming.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, awful, but the science
Well,
part of it because of the
Awful
sound.
for London in 1943, but
Right.
I don't know those people.
They were in the subways. They were fine.
But it was Wernher's, I guess, accumulative work on this as well, in engineering. But it was mostly a lot of him being a leader in this in the Luftwaffe, because they gave him a bunch of employees. Once he made the A1 and 2, working as part of a team, they were like, keep doing this but better. And they gave him like 100 employees.
Shit.
And that's how it was his brain power plus his management skills, really, that ended up making the A4.
So he's fully aware that this stuff's being used. Is it already? Has Germany already started doing attacks?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Soon. Yeah. They're still kind of in the we love this phase, but the one of the main problems with the V2 is that Hitler has no vision for it. He doesn't think that it's
It doesn't exist yet
well, it exists, but
to him,
he
or does he know about it?
Oh yeah. Wernher put on a demonstration for Hitler, and he was nonplussed.
Really?
Yeah, Hitler was more about tanks and jets. Well, jet
Like,
planes.
Even just tanks, to be honest with you. Hitler wasn't
Yeah.
big on aircraft.
That's crazy.
Even though if they would have put, and this is all like crazy because I'm World War II historian, but
Yes.
even though if they would have put their effort into aircraft instead, they likely would have won the war.
Right.
Coulda.
What do they call it? Blitzkrieg?
Yeah.
That's the thing. The Blitzkrieg requires such speed. I think he just didn't have a vision for rockets. He wanted feet on the ground, running
I guess it.
village to village.
I mean, I'm not a military person at all, so my brain goes to like, oh, you can hurt people in a war. If that's what we're gonna do.
yeah.
And you can do it from over here without sending men. Like, yeah, let's put some more technology into that.
I think what made Hitler not interested in it is that they're expensive,
Okay, yeah.
and however precise, they could shoot, I don't know, a few thousand miles, or 1,000 miles, or a few hundred miles. And all he's looking at right now in the late 30s is, how do I get Belgium?
Yeah.
Like next
And like,
door.
there's a thing about like, hey, there's 80 tanks rolling on to this city, and they just took it over.
There's a visual to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a man who lacked imagination, except for the one vision he had about killing everyone. And
Right.
sometimes he didn't waver from that.
He helped design the Beetle. I don't know how involved.
The VW Bug?
Yeah, supposedly he helped.
Somebody in Germany did, yeah.
Or at least was like, yeah, that's good. Keep doing that or something.
I think it was a low-cost, efficient machine that they could pump out for the Reich.
It's supposed to be
So
like a one-man tank, yeah.
Well, that's why he built the, what's that big road that has no speed limit?
Autobahn.
Autobahn.
That's why he built that, because he wanted, to make Germany great again, right? He wanted Germany to look like America, where everybody owned a car. So he built a cheap car and gave everybody a fucking shitty car.
Yeah.
And Porsche was instantly like, we can do this fun. Cost too much.
No.
Build a shitty cars that only go 30 miles an hour anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
So once Wernher creates the A4, also known as the V2, once you strap a warhead on it, everybody's stoked. And Wernher is actually, the Luftwaffe actually gives him a whole research center. It's on an island off the north coast of Germany called Peenemünde.
Dude, so this guy's just going up and up and up.
Yeah.
And what about his rocket pals? Are they with him still too, or did
Some
they
of them.
fall off?
Yeah, a friend of his named William Lay is with him since those days, but I think that's the only one.
Oh, okay.
But he's got a bunch of military
Makes new pals.
big brains.
Yeah.
Yeah. His brother is with him. I think it's his brother Magnus.
One of
Just
the
falls around.
normal ones.
One who's clever like regular people.
Yeah. Not stupid. Like, still hoping his father one day.
Magnus, give me some tea. God, he's so clever
God.
like ordinary people.
He'll bring me the tea. He's good enough to do that.
Yeah, he will. It'll be cold by the time he gets there. He gets distracted.
He can't do the math though.
Yeah, no, he can't actually make tea. He's not that clever. Well,
Bring me the tea and the water, and I'll do the right proportions. You don't want too much of the tea bag because it's too flavorful. But
I'm good at mixing fuel.
I said
fuel.
2 cubes of sugar. God damn it!
Damn it, Magnus. You're lucky you're a baron. All right. So, Peenemünde is a full-scale secret military base. It's when you think about a secret military base, it's what it is. There's housing. They have stores. There's a fire station, labs, employing thousands of people. Directly under Wernher is about 100 people who are supposed to perfect the A4 as best as possible.
Okay.
Blow it up as many times as you need until we know we can kill everyone. The world, preferably.
And they're just blowing up shit somewhere in Germany just to test over and over?
Yeah. Just launching up A4s, figuring out if they can use that Euroscope to tell it where to fly, make sure they can direct the thing.
Well, we're coming out with atomic bombs here pretty soon, aren't we?
No,
Where are we at?
that wasn't until end of the war.
Yeah.
Right now we're in the late 30s.
Oh, so a couple more years, 4
Yeah.
or 5.
We're getting close.
It's part of the reason Hitler didn't understand the usefulness.
The importance of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't understand a lot. Well, he wasn't technically minded, thank God.
I mean, he started a war with everybody, like 3 fronts.
Yeah, not that bright.
Yeah.
Yeah, really not that bright of a guy.
Anyways, thank God, I guess,
Asshole.
because he already did enough damage.
Hot take. Hot take on People Time.
Uh-huh.
The Hitler guy, not cool.
Not good.
Where were they launching these rockets?
In
The
northern
landing
Germany.
zone? Okay.
What's above Germany? Anything? It's not on the coast. There's something above it.
They have a coast that's like right on the northern tip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a tip.
Just a tip.
Look, I got Belgium to the
Let's look.
west.
Germany on a map. There's a country in Europe. So, yeah, right above them, across a little bit of a pond is Denmark. But they do have a rather sizable coast. Because they got the Netherlands to their west, Poland to the east, and,
Okay.
Denmark in the ocean.
So essentially, they're launching them kind of directly towards Denmark, but Denmark has no idea.
I was gonna
More
say,
or less.
The other countries are like, what's going on over there? Probably not. Probably didn't
Did you
notice.
guys hear that?
Well,
No, you're hearing things. Don't worry about it.
I would imagine
It was a car backfiring.
once Hitler took over, I think everybody probably started to feel the change in the wind
Yeah.
a little bit, even before, obviously, he started invading their countries. But I'm sure you just hear explosions, and you're like, it's those crazy Germans.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they've got up their sleeve. But
It's like having that neighbor that's just like over the side that just every once in a while you see weird or hear weird things. Like you're like, it's loud music at first, but then like all of a sudden it starts changing into like, is that a gunshot? Did someone just fire a gun? And then like one of the windows has got a red light in there for some reason. Like, why do they have a red light? What is that even for? Why? You're doing weird stuff over there.
I don't understand it.
It's creepy.
Not enough to call the police, but I'm concerned.
Yeah.
I'll call somebody. Well, Wernher, he had a conversation with his dad when Hitler started doing Hitler stuff, peacefully annexing Austria and Czechoslovakia.
Yeah.
His dad was like, "You got to get out of this, man. This does not look good." And it was always Braun who would justify it.
It's fine, Dad. God, it's just, yeah, we got rid of most of the Jews here in Germany, but to be honest with you, we got a lot of money while we did it, okay?
That shit really pissed me off.
And all
So
went to
far,
rockets.
we've only killed 14 people at a time.
yeah.
Per launch, Dad.
Yeah.
For science.
Hundreds of launches by now, but it's gonna be big.
Yeah, it was quite annoying to read about that. Where I was like, "Come on, man."
So he was. I mean,
It's difficult
I'm
to
trying to-
justify it. I mean, after the fact, but come on, your
Yeah.
Jewish friends and neighbors are just disappearing, and you're like, they're probably fine.
so do you think he was actually like dedicated to Nazism, or do you think he was like dedicated to the science, and that was just an easy thing that he was already getting? He was rising up, probably making money off of this, and he was just like, "This." I'm trying to decide is that like neither's great, obviously, but
I think it's worse
oh boy,
because if you buy into the illusion of German superiority, and you allow yourself to be brainwashed, you're a piece of shit. But you're dumb.
yeah,
It's like Trumpism. You
Okay.
can't help but feel bad for these people because half of them is just not that smart.
okay,
But if you're smart enough to know that Trump is a piece of shit, but you join him anyway because it
benefits yourself.
your personal goals,
Yeah,
is worse because Braun, come on, man. You
It's
know what's going on.
it's pretty frustrating to think of somebody who, I mean, you would expect reading these stories to be smart and be like, oh yeah, whatever. They might be using these for military. I'm like, bullshit.
Yeah. It's one of those things like where you almost have to like compartmentalize the like what they brought to the table, what you admire and respect of, and then also this other thing that they suck
Yeah.
at. What?
And that's the other thing. Once we get into like the second half of this episode, the second half of his life, he's a very likable man. It's just difficult now to say, come on, man.
Yeah.
Come on. You know what you're doing is not cool.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's just more of this shit. Like, they spend years perfecting the A4 to become the V2. Just really trying to, the ultimate goal is to get this 46-foot tall, 14-ton, this is at least according to my notes, alcohol and liquid oxygen fueled piece of metal.
I still don't know how oxygen fuel works.
Just light fire.
So the easiest way to understand how oxygen works literally is if you get a compressed oxygen
Yeah.
and light a lighter and
So it's like liquid form, liquid oxygen.
yes.
Okay.
Well, you have to have it in liquid form to have enough of it.
Yeah. How does one make?
Compress it and cool it down a lot.
And then it turns into a liquid. Okay.
So once we get into like what Kelvin numbers, is that what it is?
Yeah,
Shit.
you gotta be really cold.
Where Fahrenheit would be useless to talk about.
Yep.
There'd be so many negatives.
It'd be too negative at that point. Negative 150.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Good. Cool.
So this is
God,
what
this
we're.
is so nice having someone that's like. So this is.
Because if he weren't here, I would have just said liquid oxygen, and
I
we
would have
both
been
go.
like, "Yep."
Sure, that's probably a thing.
Uh-huh.
So what you do to get liquid oxygen is there's a. I think you could buy it. Well, maybe there's an ocean of it, and they could collect it in buckets.
Yeah, you just got. It's where we go into our jokey parts because we're like, we don't know.
I
So,
don't know.
Yeah.
But that's what they're using. The goal of getting a 1 metric ton warhead to go to a range of 210 miles with an arcing trajectory through the upper atmosphere. And this takes him several years to perfect.
Oh, okay, I'm trying to figure out the time frame here still. So
We're in the late 30s into the 40s because
Early 40s.
So he's still trying to go into space. Or
no.
the other.
I mean, that's
at
his
this point-
personal goal, that is.
At this point, he's dedicated to
He's
how
going
he can
to.
kill people.
All right. We're talking about longer range is what he's trying to go for. Longer range.
Because 200 miles away on any trajectory doesn't get you to space.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So
Yeah, because you don't go straight up.
what is considered to be long range, like missile, versus just a short range?
Now?
I guess. Yeah.
So short range stuff now is typically under. There's a treaty that sets it, and I don't have my information in front of me. I want to say it's like 1,000 or 1,200 miles is short range.
Right. So they define
That's
it so that
short
way they can
range?
say.
Yes.
Because we could fucking hit Texas from here for that. 1,000 miles?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck Texas.
But long range is essentially over oceans.
Like intercontinental.
I guess that's true. Long range would be, because really we could hit at any point on the planet. That's long range.
Yes.
Yeah. So short range would be pretty sizable still.
Weird.
Continent size to some.
But
degree.
at this point, like this
This is
distance
the
was long
longest.
range because short range was how far you can throw a grenade, right? So
Basically.
if you get Bobby with the big arm, you can throw it like 300 or 400 yards.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, 'cause they didn't play baseball in Germany, so they needed some rocket fuel to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I guess to answer your question, it is his personal goal to go to space. He's trying to perfect these rockets to make them space travelable, but
We're only slowly getting further and further.
come on,
of
man, he's strapping
range.
warheads to him. You know what I mean?
I want to blow up the moon.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. So
I
obviously.
fucking hate the moon.
And just looking at the weight that you're talking about now, he's so far away from space travel. It's crazy. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And I don't even know if he knows how far away he is. But
Meh.
If he understands integrals correctly, he does.
I'll trust you
Oh,
on that because
dang.
I really do think his commitment to the war is downplayed
Yeah.
because the only witness is him, and he's talking to the CIA.
It's horribly downplayed because of the second part of this episode.
Yes.
Okay.
That's the fun right there.
Okay.
All right.
So another reason why he might be super stoked is that Peenemünde, like I said, is the secret military base, and he's the head of one of the very prestigious departments. So he's like a boss. He's a boss man. He's a pimp. He hires his old mentor, Herman Oberth, who is elderly, and Braun has surpassed him in technical knowledge. He hires his old mentor for shits, just to be
'cause.
around, to be a token.
Oberth is all about Nazi or what?
He's the same with
like, whatever.
Wernher, yeah, scientist type who's like, this is what we do now. But he played cello in a quartet. He would never wear his name badge because he insisted that the guards should know who I am.
That's
So-
That's Braun.
Oh, okay.
Wernher.
Yeah.
He sort of walks
Bring
around
it-
like a man on campus.
Bringing in a theme from other episodes,
yeah.
is he trying to use his position to get his dick wet? That's the question we need to ask.
Oh, 100%.
Oh,
Okay.
is he?
Yeah, his rocket is running on liquid fuel, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's exploding
semen.
his rocket
Alright.
a lot.
Yeah, his liquid fuel is spraying all over Germany.
Alright.
Because
So his old mentor knew where all the girls were. Is why,
probably.
and he didn't.
That's
'Cause
what it
he's focused on how to make a rocket go further.
When he first met Herman, the first thing he realized is that he had already surpassed him in technical knowledge, but didn't know how to get laid. Damn
All
it.
right, so I know the numbers. What I don't know, is
Teach me.
how do I get the girls to like me?
How do I get my rocket wet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, you just have the fuel. What are you talking about? He's like, no. You don't understand. Oh.
Actually, I mean, maybe now's a good time to explain it. Or, Wernher is very good looking, in a traditional sense.
Oh, okay, so he's considered to be.
Tall, muscular, blonde hair, blue-eyed, suave,
Oh shit, he's the Aryan race.
cultured
Yeah.
Aryan race, as they see themselves.
And now he's a genius, walking around telling everyone like, I don't need a name badge. Do you know who I am?
You know who I am. This is, and
You'll notice my card says rocket scientist.
Oh,
you don't need to know it much else.
There you go.
yeah.
You don't need to shit. Actually, what you need to do is shut up.
Yeah.
Turn around. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yes, that's your wife in my car.
Do you know any girls? Yeah, I was about to say, do you know any girls?
He also flew around. He had his own plane that the military actually gave him. That he didn't.
What?
He didn't have a car. He had a plane. He just would fly it around the island.
Okay,
to
that's
get
kind of
lunch.
that's pretty badass. Because if you go and work for a company, they're like, here's your company car, but then you
It's
are
a
like,
Sebring.
here's your company plane.
That still happens in the
Hi.
military right
Oh,
now.
man.
Oh, really?
The U.S. military, yes.
Because I know
Joined
that
the wrong
I know
field.
they gave all the astronauts were basically just adrenaline junkies, and they all just took planes. I didn't know they did that now.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
insane.
dude.
So astronauts, and I'm sad that I even know this, but astronauts are actually virtually the same grade that I am.
Oh, really?
Military?
work, yeah.
Right? Yeah.
And so, yeah, because
That's crazy.
it was a lateral to apply to be in the astronaut program.
Are you gonna go to the astronaut program?
No,
No, not your
I don't.
forte.
I don't meet the qualifications.
Oh, okay.
I'm not blonde hair, blue eyed. Oh, not muscular enough.
That's pretty.
I'm too cool for that.
Yeah.
Too cool.
Yeah,
But
that's crazy. That's cool.
so most of them actually buy their own planes, and then like they have a whole bunch of NASA's got a setup where a lot of companies like not sponsor them but give astronaut stuff after they
Right.
actually go to the moon or
Yeah.
do whatever they're doing.
That's crazy.
But higher end military personnel often have like Air Force assigned equipment that flies them places.
That's bananas.
I briefed a general one time, and then he got on his plane. He's like, "I gotta go to the Pentagon. See you later."
You're like, oh,
I can't imagine people
see you later.
at that level, like what their life is like.
I'll just be the guy that flies those people around. That's fine.
Well, if you're interested,
Not that I can fly planes.
what his personal plane was a Messerschmitt
Yep.
Typhoon.
Messerschmitt.
Yeah.
Sounds Jewish.
Messerschmitt.
yeah. What's
I
it?
mean, it's a German. I believe Messerschmitt is a German company that like builds planes,
Yeah.
and his was a
Yes.
Typhoon.
Typhoon.
And it's blue. It is a civilian plane, but it's a 4-seater, and it goes very fast.
Mazel tov plane.
Mazel tov.
Yes. Ooh, and that is good. So it's is it a one-man plane or can there be multiple people?
Like four
4-seater.
Oh, nice.
Jeez.
So
So you can bring on 3 chicks.
yes, he can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or 2 chicks and a camera guy.
Yeah.
Or 2 camera guys and 1 guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. When you use your imagination,
The possibilities
power-
are infinite
it's infinite.
when you have 4 seats.
For 4 women that you show how to fly the plane before they took off. You just jerk off thinking about it later.
Got some kinks that
Dude.
it's just hard to explain.
So Messerschmitt built the most common fighter aircraft of the German war effort as well.
Yeah.
It's called an Me-109.
Me-109. Yeah, in my notes it says that his Typhoon was adapted from an Me-109.
So his personal plane is actually like a military used. Okay.
It's basically, a fighter plane that you take the guns off of, and then he vacations in it. Or goes to lunch.
That's crazy.
So, when you talk about abandoning your morals to be a part of the Nazi movement, I mean, what in exchange for what?
I was gonna say, when you're selling your soul, you better get some good shit.
You get a plane so you can fly to lunch.
Yes.
Yeah.
And another example, he always had 2 female assistants.
Did
And
he
would
really?
Yeah, always had 2 female assistants, and he would always tell to either of them, he would always say, I've always had 2 assistants, a pretty one and a prettier one.
That's pretty rude.
And then he would
Yeah.
tell the one in personal company that they were the prettier one.
So you have to figure out.
And then they would probably put his penis in their mouth,
Yeah.
depending on.
Am I the prettier one? keep going. I'll tell you.
If
Oh.
I don't know, he's into rockets. Are we sure it's
Yeah.
in the mouth?
That's true. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
I don't know. I think he's really into rockets in which these women have strap-ons. Like that's what he's into.
Get peg me.
Peg me, man.
Yeah.
That
Give me
was
your
that was
fuel.
kind of my thought.
Yeah.
Alright.
Let's do some.
Yeah. Well, he's got it's a model rocket that he asked these women to wear.
Yeah. He designed it.
Yeah. Give me that warhead.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tickle my colon, if you will.
Hey, look, the end of it's painted red.
Yeah.
Call me London. Call me London.
And then it's got fireworks on the end, so that way, like on the base, so that way, just for a little show. They're harmless. Just a little sparkler.
Just burning his asshole.
Yeah. He just lights that part. Went right at the very end.
Call me London.
We have blast off. And then she's just back there like, oh God, I'm glad I get paid a lot of money
I
for
get paid
this.
a lot to do this. And I just really hate Jews. I'm just really happy to be a part of it. Well, what are we even talking about?
Red Rockets.
So, it is around this time when, at the behest of one Heinrich Himmler, if you're unfamiliar, is the head of the SS or the Schutzstaffel, which is the...
It's like a waffle that has this kind of
it's a racist waffle.
it's kind of got this caramel. It's really tasty if you ever had them. A Stroot waffle.
Schutzstaffel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Which I don't know what means. I don't care.
I have some of them right now.
Schutzstaffel?
Mm-hmm. You want me to grab some?
No.
And for the sake of Nazism,
Full of
I
blueberries?
feel like we're on the wrong side to be celebrating for.
Schutzstaffel does sound like a Bavarian tasty treat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's actually a horribly racist military police
Well, that's not as good then.
type of people.
Yeah.
I don't know everything the Schutzstaffel did other than just be, Gestapo
I was about to
type
say.
of. I mean, they did a lot of the upper management of running the concentration camps. They did a lot of the CIA type of investigations for the Nazi Party.
Just
I think
another-
they were pretty a mixed bag, but they were basically Hitler's. Tell Himmler I want this thing done, and Himmler gets the thing done.
Okay.
So now that our guy is technically in the Nazi Party, I mean, he joined the military, but he's not part of the SS. It was actually, he got a letter from Himmler himself saying, you should be in the SS.
Fuck. For real? He doesn't take it, right?
You should come and become what would be considered a second lieutenant, or in German is an Untersturmführer. Untersturmführer, because German is ridiculous language.
Yeah. Führer.
Well, it's a bunch of additives with Führer, so that's the whole point, right?
Unter,
The,
is that
the
one?
Führer is
So it's unter
Hitler.
would be under.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sturm, I'm assuming, means lieutenant. in some
Second.
way.
I think it's under second.
Under second.
Führer is probably how it all breaks out.
And I believe Führer just means leader, but in an overly escalated way,
Before that, he was und keiner Eier.
which means add eggs or something.
And no eggs.
And no eggs. So, I don't know if I have to tell you what happens. I mean, do we have to guess? What do you?
He did. Of course he did.
yes,
It's
he
more
did.
money
Totally.
for more to keep doing what he already loves to do.
But why? Why would he do such a thing?
I don't know. He's a jackass. Because it was that or fuck your mom. Because that's the only way rocket science is born. Is you fuck your mom or you join the Nazi regime. I don't know.
Yeah.
A high end.
Yeah. He joins the SS. He he claims he only wore the suit once. He claims he never wore the pin.
Bullshit.
He claims
Oh, sorry.
he didn't go to any meetings.
I take it when you say he claims all these things, this must be in the after fact of him talking to
When he
the
wrote
US,
his autobiography, it was totally like downplayed.
which is much later on. I'm assuming.
I mean, in a certain sense, if Himmler approaches you, you don't want to say no. Himmler's your classic villain.
Scary.
But you can say no.
You don't want to wear the pin,
You
and
can
you're
say
like,
no. Here's a man who owns a plane. If you don't like what's going on, you leave.
fly away.
But instead, no, he got the suit, he got the SS pin, and yeah, he totally wore them to get laid. I'm certain of that.
Yeah.
However nice of a man he is later.
So you find him to be a nice man later. Yeah. I'm curious about how this is.
The world sees him as a nice man later, especially in the U.S.
Yeah. I'm assuming
Oh,
because he comes and helps
You're
the
gonna
U.S.
love how this goes. You're gonna love this.
These are the fun stories.
Yeah, you're gonna love this.
Yeah.
So let's see. It was I set the parameters earlier for what Brown said would create the perfect V2, which was we put it something 46 feet tall, 14-ton alcohol and liquid oxygen, piece of shit, go 210 miles, right?
Yeah.
So they finally accomplished that in October of 1942. Everybody who was part of the team cried because they finally reached their goal of creating this massive death machine.
Sure.
I only write this down because he said he did not cry, but he said he was not wet on the outside, but was wet on the inside.
Ugh. That's a weird way to say that.
What he actually said.
Maybe it's just a weird translation from German to English. It doesn't seem.
You
right.
hope it's a weird translation.
Uh,
It could be worse.
yeah.
Could be.
Could have just
exact.
said. You could have just said I wasn't emotionally showing it, but I was emotional. But instead, I wasn't wet on the outside. I was wet on the inside,
Wet
though.
on the inside.
Yeah.
All of my orifices are soaking wet.
God.
So,
Moist inside.
let's see, little tidbits here before we get into the darker shit.
It gets darker.
He, let's see. Hitler wanted to shut him down. He didn't give a shit about the A4 or the V2. It's only because of the support of higher-ranking Nazis like Himmler. Himmler saw a lot of potential. Albert Speer, the quote-unquote good Nazi, who we don't need to go into that. It's the same thing.
Quote unquote good Nazi.
Yeah, if you don't know Albert Speer, he's just he was a very high-level Nazi, like one of Hitler's personal friends, and he was an architect, and he wrote a book after the war where he basically said, I didn't agree with any of this the whole time, and I stayed in because I thought it's better if I can do good from the inside than the outside.
Did he actually do any good?
According to him, but nobody could prove it because I mean he wrote the biography of the rise and fall of the Third Reich, and it's
He's the one who wrote that book?
not the definitive one. So there's his, which is a memoir, and then there's the one by that historian that's like 1,600 pages.
Okay.
His is like a 400-page memoir of just lies.
Yeah.
But he did support rocketry, or at least the military use of it. And so did...
That's the good he did from the inside. Was blow people up from far away. I was trying my best, man.
Sorry, man. So, we got... All right, and we already went over this. Hitler knows nothing about rocketry, didn't see the vision for it, and...
Just like nerds.
Well, and Brown always hoped that... he actually hoped that if the Germans won the war, which he had invested in that idea, then he would be able to leverage his space program. But he said after the war, of course, that he doesn't think so. It's like if we had won, Hitler would not have continued with rocket research.
Really?
Is what he thinks,
Weird.
which is probably true.
Yeah.
So, we are now into he is so okay. Now that they've got the V2,
Yeah.
they decide to start
They
making.
cried
some
on the inside, or he did. Yeah.
Yes. His crevices were full of tears.
Tears.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That was something else.
Yeah.
Well, actually, before that, in August of 1943, the what does RAF stand for?
It's the Air
REF?
Force.
RAF.
The Royal.
It's the Royal Air Force.
Yeah.
They detected Peenemünde, figured out it was a secret military base, realized there was some rocket shit going on, and bombed the fuck out of
The
it.
Spitfires went in and pew, 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 pew.
Yes.
I
And
think that's what they were called. Right?
Brown didn't know this at the time, obviously, but he figured it out later that attack was designed to kill him.
Oh, him specifically.
Well, if they didn't know him by name, MI6 guys knew the
Just-
rocket genius was there.
Kill the guy who's
Probably
in charge.
did have his name, I would imagine, but
Yeah, maybe
they were
so.
trying to kill him. The story, as told, is that he was very, very heroic in the fire and saved a bunch of people. I'm not going to tell that story because I don't believe it, but I do know about 800 people died. Most of them were POW slaves
Oh,
who
that
were
sucks.
working at the camp.
Yeah. Bummer. POW slaves from just wherever. Whatever country.
Yeah, mostly Russian.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess 1943, is Russia in the war yet?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's mostly, but this is the important thing: is these camps that, or this camp, Peenemünde, most of the hand-to-hand work of shit that is done is by POW slaves
Gotcha.
or concentration camp prisoners.
Yeah, that's fucking. It's pretty awful.
Or as Germans know them, workforce.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Which is they're a great workforce because you don't have to feed them, you don't have to give them medical care. You just
Yeah.
throw them at a thing,
You just replace them.
just replace them.
And disposable buddies.
There's a bottomless reserve of people who are not Aryans in the world that we can just throw at problems.
Yeah.
Super fun.
So they blew up this his base or whatever you want to call it. So he gets out. Does he go to another base? What happens after this?
He luckily just avoids being killed, and they start rebuilding it.
They rebuild at the same place.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, weird.
They move a lot of the production to a cave called Metalwork, I believe is what it is. It's still in North Germany, but there's a quick story here to tell before we get to that. Just quickly, Himmler reapproached him, and it's assumed now that Himmler actually wanted to be in control of the entire rocket program. He was trying to get rid of Braun.
What?
So he said, "Hey Braun, currently this base is being overseen by the Luftwaffe, the military. What if I take over and I'm in charge of it? It's an SS base."
Why did he want to do that?
It sounds like Himmler actually understood the potential of rocketry, and he just wanted to be in charge of it.
You want to get the credit?
Yeah.
Is he even like a guy for rockets at all?
Himmler?
Yeah.
Himmler's a guy for any military technology.
But he doesn't have like a background in like.
No.
So he's just.
I don't even think Himmler went to college. Himmler's just a very
just-
smart thug
Okay.
who pushed his way up the party.
I've read things about Himmler, but I think part of the development of the aircraft at the very end of the war was due to Himmler as well.
Oh, weird.
I mean, that's the
Because they
thing.
actually started building aircraft that were significantly more advanced than anything the U.S. had. by
And it was
far.
because of his like.
I think
input?
I think so. They
But
actually used some rocket technology in one of their aircraft
So
designs.
he's a bright enough guy.
Well, it wasn't his ideas, but
Yeah.
it's
His.
It's his
His
organizational power. Yeah, I guess.
yeah. Because when you talk about the Nazi high leadership, that's a smart group of dudes. I mean, Hitler is not an inherently smart guy. He's just an insane person with a vision, and a bunch of smart dudes got shit done for him. I mean, I think Goering and Goebbels and Himmler are very smart dudes, and I think Himmler had this vision of, rocketry could be great.
Put a bunch of man hours and work into it.
How much creativity
go.
does it take to go one step past, we can throw these at buildings, we can put them into space, and we have bombs in space?
Yeah.
It's a pretty great idea. It's not that crazy of a thing to think about. It's just that Hitler lacked creativity, and
No.
Hitler didn't,
No.
I guess is my assessment anyway. But what happened was Brown, I guess he has a pair of balls because he told Himmler no to his face. He's like, I don't want the SS running this. This is a military thing, and you guys do too many things, so thanks, but no thanks. So...
Can he say no?
No, he got arrested.
He did?
He got arrested 2 days later.
He says, nah, it's all right. I got it. You guys keep doing your stuff.
This was August of 43.
Yeah.
So wait, did Himmler just like walk away, didn't say anything that he was going to get arrested, or like, you can't say no to me, or did he just like...
No, Himmler just smirked at him.
He's like, oh.
Oh, you don't want me to be in control.
He
Okay.
thinks that, huh? Okay, well,
You said no. That's adorable.
That's so
see you
funny.
later.
People only say no once.
You're going to be in this area for the next couple days, right? Just
You're rebuilding the space here, right?
just hang out here for them.
Not related. Don't leave town. Okay?
Yeah.
Good to see ya.
We know what your plane looks like. We built it.
Yeah.
I have a tracker on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he got arrested. His direct commander, his name was Dornberger, got arrested as well. And they were charged with being traitors who were trying to attempt to sabotage the war because they had more interest in using the A4 to get to space than to turn it into a weapon.
That's what they were
charged with.
That's a weird charge.
It's a brilliant move on Himmler because it's true-ish, but not true, but sellable.
Right.
So he could jail the people he wanted out of the way, and what do you know? Now the SS is suddenly in charge of the rocket program.
Yeah. I like to think that like when he was getting arrested, they're like, "Do you know?" No, I don't have a name badge. How do you know you got the right guy?
Fuck
you.
rocket scientist.
No, it's that guy over there. Go arrest him. Just do it.
I don't know. Oh, Wernher? You say Wernher? I don't know.
Well,
It's
I'm
the
gonna go-
prettier one.
It's the more Aryan looking guy. I'm gonna go get in my plane.
Yeah.
Or someone's plane.
It's
Oh, shit.
Get him.
That's him.
No.
No. Well, he was only in there for 2 weeks. Actually,
Oh, that's not too bad, I guess. As a
not too bad. I don't know whose strings were pulled. I don't think Brown knows. And all these guys are dead. But it's assumed that Albert Speer wanted, regardless if you call him a traitor or not, he wanted Von Braun's brains to keep working the rocket industry.
Sure.
So he got a letter signed by Hitler saying, "You can leave the SS prison. You're allowed."
It's got to feel kind of good because if it's literally coming from like Adolf signing it, then you just like walk out and see the people who arrested you, and you're like, what do you think of this? Hitler signed this.
Pretty sure this is a get out of free jail card.
Yeah.
Get out of jail free card.
Who's a bitch? Don't touch me. I got Hitler on my side.
Oh damn it! Oh damn it! I can't hit him. Just hanging it up at a bar everywhere he goes in front of his face. I fucked your wife. I fucked your wife.
What do you do about it? Nothing.
I can't go to jail.
It's literally a get out of jail free card. I pass go. I get $200. Fuck you.
So,
Hopefully.
our protagonist, if we can call him that, I guess, is released from an SS jail. Always the optimist, he did say that jail at least is a great opportunity to catch up on sleep.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what do they get in that kind of jail when you are part of the SS and then you get put into jail?
No, I
They
don't think he
treat
gives
you-
shit.
They treat you nice at all?
No. He basically
Rockets
described
in
his-
your orifices.
Yeah. Don't drop the rocket fuel. I don't know what they have.
Yeah. Don't drop the rocket fuel.
But when he comes out, finds out that, of course, the thing he said he didn't want is happening. The SS now runs the rocket program. Himmler has successfully sold the idea to Hitler, and Hitler says, "All right, great, make me 30,000 of them."
Wait, does he go back into his old job though?
Yeah.
Okay. He's just now definitely under.
He just now works for Himmler,
Okay.
and I think he calls less shots now, but he's still the brain trust of it,
Okay.
of the whole thing. And before, when they were just sort of trying to perfect the thing and not really getting any approval from the top, now the top says, "Give me 30,000 of these things. Make sure that they have a warhead. Thank you."
So 30,000 explosive rockets to fire at the enemy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of rockets.
Now, because we're now talking about a large-scale manufacturing project and the RAF know where Peenemünde is, they move most of the engineering into these mines in a mountain called Mittelwerk. the issue with middle work is that now that we're working on a full-scale industry here, we're using a lot of slave labor, and this
Yikes.
time it is a lot of POWs. Now it is mostly Jewish people from the Buchenwald slave camp.
Jesus Christ. Do we know, is this like Germany's like biggest rocket like developing military?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the world's biggest
the only-
rocket.
Okay.
It's the only one developing rockets anywhere.
Well, we've got the atomic bomb being developed in the U.S. right now, right?
No. The
Well-
Manhattan Project was still, well, very
we dropped
end
it
of
on
43.
44?
Well, yeah, but we didn't shoot the atomic bombs from a rocket. It was a
it was a
bomb
gravity
that
bomb.
Right.
we dropped
We
from
dropped
a plane,
it, yeah.
from Big Boy or the Enola Gay.
That,
And Oleg
yeah,
Gay, yep.
was the plane.
So yeah, rocket technology comes from Germany.
So the actual projecting of shooting rockets.
Well, I mean, Robert
out.
Goddard had some rocket ideas, and so did some other people in
But
in
this
Russia.
is
But
like the place.
this is the technology. we want.
Gotcha. Okay.
This is the iPhone of rocketry.
in 2006.
Pre Steve Jobs or during pre Steve Jobs.
Po-
Pre Steve Jobs being dead.
Pre-post.
Pre post Steve Jobs. I think it's a good analogy.
He's the Steve Jobs of rockets.
It's
This is terrible.
it's the iPod of 2004.
There you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Sweet. Okay.
Everybody
there are
else-
other MP3 players. You don't want it.
Yeah. I had that one.
You don't want that one.
I had the other one, the nameless one.
The
Whatever
one that's only compatible with LimeWire? What the fuck? The song names are all wrong. This
can-
is not Evanescence.
It can hold 15 songs.
If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's or 3 Tool songs.
But if you plug it into the computer while the computer's still booting, it erases everything.
Yeah.
on your
In
player.
all fairness, I had the unnamed secondary iPod clone made by Microsoft.
Oh, Zune?
right.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I had a
remember
Zune.
And I dropped it out of an airplane, and it functioned still.
What?
What?
How did you find it?
Well, we weren't flying yet.
Oh, okay. But still.
Still high up, it just dropped out. Like, what happened for it to get? Did you drop or did you throw it?
No, it actually caught air. And where it was sitting was in a bad spot, and it like flew up and like fell out of the canopy because the canopy was still open
Yeah.
because we were like trying to go taxiing too, and like as soon as we took any speed at all, it's like all the shit falling out.
I went back later and found it. It's like, hey guys, it still works.
Yeah,
Hey, guys.
the screen was cracked, but like it still worked great. I was like, this is fucking awesome.
Sweet.
It had a big chunk out of the front.
Yeah, dude. I had the Zune for a while. That was a good piece of tech.
Yeah.
It worked.
Yeah.
Not as sexy as the iPod, but
No.
you know, that's fine. It's the same. I mean, Steve Jobs didn't have better technology; he just made it more user friendly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Zune was perfectly good. But I had every fucking MP3. Like I had a Casio one and some other. And they all fucking suck.
I didn't even have any of those. I had like this little. It was like a little. It almost looked like the size of a lipstick tube, maybe a little bit chunkier, and it had a screen, but it didn't really display anything other than like the battery life or some shit.
It's like, please have a nice day.
You
over and
just
over
hit
again.
the play button, you play stop left and right or whatever, and that's all you had. You couldn't
Good old-
scroll through anything. If you wanted to listen to a song, you just kept clicking it until you found it.
Yep.
good old days. I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
Now I just have to sell my soul to Spotify. Well, on a lighter note, Jewish slave labor.
Right.
So Brown is still the technical director. He's not in charge of any of this, but he did have to interview many of these slave laborers to find out who had technical training and who didn't, so he knew where to put them.
What an awkward interview. Of all interviews to have, you sit down and be like, are you qualified for this job? And you're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to say here. I feel like,
Which one makes me die less?
yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. Well, he asked, "What's an integer?"
Yeah. And if you
And
didn't know,
we are the ones that die.
yeah, I was just say, integer.
Just
What'd you call me, you bitch?
Is that an anti-Semitic slur?
Fuck you.
Integer, I just barely met her.
And Brown's like, I got a sense of humor. That's funny. You can die later. That's funny.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you can live a little longer. But yeah, that's when we come to his culpability here. Obviously, he can't put his foot down and end the Holocaust or anything, but he's involved. He knows about it. You know, you go into these caves where they're manufacturing this stuff, and the slaves didn't have like a second place to go at the end of the day. They just slept in the caves.
Jesus.
They had cots and shit. Rampant with disease and death and just bodies everywhere. And the SS, of course, we all know the reverence they have for Jewish corpses. So they're definitely not just throwing them on fire pits in the caves. Now, Wernher sees all this.
Yeah.
This is just important to say. And again, he doesn't have any control, but he's there. He's picking names. He's telling who gets to do what job. And they're building these big death machines. So,
Okay. Christ.
Yeah, pretty good. But to give you his thoughts on his culpability, he says that during the war and even after, he feels no remorse for the V2 development or bombings because it was retribution for Ally shelling.
Huh. Okay.
Because, you know, he is German and his people are being shelled even though they're in the wrong. And so he said, well, this is just us getting back at them.
Right.
Slave labor not.
I mean, no,
They shelled us after we invaded their cities.
yeah, I was gonna say.
How dare they?
What the fuck?
Hey, just let us kill you don't fight back.
Yeah, it's what every Russian soldier's thought is right now. Hey, don't shoot at me.
Yeah.
Hey,
I'm
now.
here to denazify.
Hey, now.
Christ.
You crazy Mongol Ukrainians, you don't know shit. Let me just kill you.
God.
Please, let me just kill your whole family. God.
Oh shit! The farmer got away with my tank.
God. I love those. I love those videos.
Best videos I've ever seen.
where
I
they
think.
where they're like pushing them down the road with a tractor, or a guy pulls over and is like, "You're out of gas, huh? You want me to tow you back to Russia?"
Yeah.
Yeah, the Ukrainians are having a ball with that invasion.
Yeah.
Well, just to give you an assessment here, after the war, just so you have an idea of the effectiveness of the V2, it's attributed that 2,800 deaths are attributed to the V2, as in killing allies,
During the World War
Allied civilians.
II.
Yeah. 2,800 deaths versus 600,000 German deaths from Allied shelling.
So the shelling was better.
Shelling is far more useful. The V2 is a fun, sexy machine.
Yeah.
It's not the greatest.
Is
weapon.
it because it's just not like accurate enough? Is it because they didn't have as much? It's more expensive.
Strictly warhead size.
Okay.
If you think about the technology and the money it takes to build one of these things versus, let's say, a handful of bombs,
Yeah.
they're gonna do the same
I was
damage.
gonna say, what exactly is a warhead? What defines it to be a warhead as opposed to? Is it has to be on be shot?
No, so you can use. At this time, they're using the same type of warheads for all different sort of actions. So this rocket system is only designed to deliver a warhead where it needs to go.
Right.
The reason I think Hitler's probably against it is he's like, I can put 50 of these in a plane if we can get a
Just
plane
drop
somewhere
them.
it needs to go. Because the plane is obviously, it can just carry a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
Rather
The
than trying to launch
same
them,
reason you drop a nuclear warhead out of a plane instead of a rocket. It's just more efficient.
Well, I was gonna say fire bombings killed more people than the warhead than the atomic bombs. So
And yeah, like I say Hitler lacked creativity, but really, the rocket's a good technology, but not as a V2.
well, maybe not when you're in the middle of a war where you're still having to develop it. Maybe it's a good thing to put some money into later down the road. But if you've got something that's doing more damage, that's
Yeah, take
cheaper
over the
and
Earth
easier.
first,
then
go to space. Hitler had everything mixed up. Be nice to the Jews, not kill them.
That
He
was
had
the
it-
part
He
he
had
missed.
He had
everything.
it backwards.
Yeah.
Damn it! He read it upside down.
If only he was.
Instructions for taking over the world. He
If
holds it upside
if
down.
he'd known the sandwiches they could create later.
Ah, Jewish deli sandwiches. Motherfucker never would have touched them.
Ever been to Feldman's? Sorry,
Honestly,
sidetrack.
he
You're good?
also doesn't seem much of a gourmand. Doesn't seem like a.
Yeah.
I think he just probably ate plain oatmeal all day.
I was gonna
to
say,
fuel his rage.
what's that joke where he's like, "No, he said, bring me the juice,
Yes.
not bring me the Jews."
Don't. Yes. Don't cook all the juice. That's awful. Cook the juice. I like warm juice.
Yeah, helps me sleep.
God, you people are disgusting. I'm just trying to take over the earth.
He's like, I guess I just had to go with it from there.
Post-war, just on that last note, both Ike and Churchill agreed that the V2 is less effective than just tanks and planes.
Yeah.
But that's just to sort of turn the knife there, because at the last bit of the war, our man here just spends his time in this cave overseeing the production of V2s while he makes them, gives them to Hitler, and Hitler throws them at London.
And he's still not even being able to do what he really wants to do, which is obviously go to the moon.
Go to the moon. You know, he wants to meet those like green skinned chicks from Star Trek.
He doesn't come over to the U.S. and help out with us going to the moon, does he?
No, he would never. He's a Nazi.
Oh, okay.
So, in 1945, as we know, the Soviets move into Germany. Well, the Americans and Soviets get there about the same time, but the Soviets are up north. That's where he is. And he and his team he's still overseeing a few hundred people. He actually gathers up a bunch of them and says, here's the thing. We all know what's going on. The Soviets are invading. Hitler's in a bunker. Not as deep as the People Time bunker, but
Right.
we know it's coming.
Not as secure for sure.
And the order from the top, one of Hitler's last orders to every Nazi is to stay put and fight to the last man. Stay put.
Fuck. When you hear
Die
that,
for me.
When you hear that, it's like time to go to South America.
Let's go to Argentina.
Argentina.
I heard there's
Time
a
to
nice
get-
place out there.
Let's get out of here.
Do we gotta learn to sing that Evita song that Madonna knows?
Oh shit.
Don't cry for me.
Argentina. Huh.
I hate that movie. I hate that movie so much. I wasted so much of my time.
Go listen to that People Time episode.
Yeah. I didn't even finish the movie. It wasted 45 minutes of my life, and I'm still mad about it. I turned it off. So, he and his gathered group of, they're really specialists, scientists, engineer types.
Yeah, the Red Rocket Club.
Yeah.
Basically,
The newer version.
Yeah.
they all wear a big picture of a dick on their chests. And they think it's a
2.0.
joke. And they're joking around why these Jews all have syphilis.
Someone smacking another one in the junk. Hey, rocket. Let's get out of here.
Hey, get it hard. Let's go to space. So they all kind of agree, like, okay, yeah, we could sit here and die. Is that really what we want to do? We could go surrender. If we're going to surrender, who do you want to surrender to? And they all agree. Is it better to surrender to a Soviet, or is it better to surrender to an American?
American.
Yeah.
Only because I know that how many millions of Russian lives were thrown out of this war and killed. I don't know what part we're at exactly, but if like, if you're a Russian guy and you're like, oh, I surrender, and you're like, yeah, a little late. You know, I'm pissed off. You've killed millions of us.
Yeah, by far the most casualties in the war.
It's
the Russians.
crazy how many Russians
Oh, yeah.
died.
And I've got to think at that point, you're like, we need to get the fuck out of Europe.
Yeah.
Go
Europe
somewhere.
might be the problem.
Can we go somewhere nice?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I hear U.S. is a melting pot.
Maybe they'll put us in Florida. It looks kind of like a penis.
A little rocket shaped, dipping itself into the water. It's all nice. God, that's great. So yeah, that's what they agree to do. Now the problem is they have the entirety of Germany, the geography of Germany in the way. So the Soviets are up north. They're walking in through Berlin, and the American forces are a little bit more southern, middle part of Germany. So he puts on his SS uniform.
Ugh, that
Gathers
seems like a
about
bad idea.
500 people who agree with him. They get in trucks. They load up as much equipment and tech as they think they can, and they just start driving south, hoping to run into the
Oh my
Americans.
God.
He put on his SS uniform so that when he ran into any military checkpoints, he could be like, "Hey, I'm the guy. We're on a secret mission here."
I don't need a name badge. Do you see this pin?
See
Idiot.
what that says? It says shit stain. That's what the SS stands for.
Yeah.
That's what we are. We're a
Did
bunch
he pull out his get out of jail free card? Hold on.
Wait.
Flatten it out so it looks new.
I have an autograph that says
Hitler.
Huh?
See that?
You know,
Read it.
you know who that guy is? Heard of him?
Oh, wow. Look at that. Oh, well, yeah, please, sir. Please pass through, sir.
Is that the dude that shot himself in the bunker a couple weeks ago?
Oh, shit, that fucking guy. That's the golden autograph right there.
Shit.
They haul ass across the country. They were able to get past several different posts and guards and things like that with the SS uniform.
Did you say they blasted through?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like a good verb.
Yeah. Did you say that it was like that? Were they as quick as a rocket? Maybe.
I prefer the word thrust.
Who doesn't?
Thrust their way through
Yeah.
Germany.
Yeah. They really
Blow ass. Blow ass to German.
Yeah.
They went ballistic on the road.
Oh.
See,
Deeper
technical.
one.
So, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We have the
That's what we
really
lack.
surface level.
Yeah, we use third grader.
Hey, give me a good
Vocabulary.
rocket term so I can say it and sound smart. What's a
Who, me?
blow up?
Oh, integer.
They really integered through there, didn't they?
Yeah. Because I don't know what that word means. My mind is not upset about that sentence. So, yeah, they, along the way into Bavaria, which is in southern Germany, they find a bunch of caves, and they actually hide a bunch of their research shit in the caves. He gets in a car accident, his driver dies because they're hauling ass so much.
Really?
Yeah.
What kind of car accident? Like,
Oh, they crashed, like, they jumped over some plane, or some train tracks and hit like a trench on the other side. His driver died immediately, and he was all fucked up. I think he fucked up his leg and his face.
why did they do that? Just trying to go?
They're just hauling ass because they're trying to escape any Germans noticing
Everybody.
what they're doing, Soviets, and they're trying to reach American forces to say, sorry.
They're just trying to like picture like as the crash happens and he looks over and that guy's just dead. He's like, "Fuck! All right, we gotta get out of here." Oh my god!
Oh, sucks for you.
What happens in Bavaria stays in Bavaria. See you later, bitches.
Yeah, we don't have time to mourn him. Let's go.
Oh,
Let's get out of here.
Throw him on the pile with the other bodies.
He might have been Jewish. I don't know. Let's go.
Christ!
Well, they actually reach a Bavarian ski resort. It's not it's like a hotel, so the staff is there.
Yeah.
No other guests because the rest of Germany is on fire.
Right.
But imagine
Why is
this,
the staff there? Better go to work. My
Says
boss called me and I was like, "There's a war." Like, yeah, you're coming in though, right?
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you ever see that show Brand of Brothers on HBO?
I don't think so.
Fucking one of my favorite things of all time. But it's about a band. It's the 501st Airborne. It's
That
just
got
their
stuck.
journey through the war.
They're the ones who got stuck on behind lines.
They were always behind lines, yeah, because they were paratroopers.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
always dropped behind lines. But at the end of the war, they went to Berchtesgaden, which is in Bavaria, which is like where the high-end SS and Nazi guys had their castles and all their shit.
Right.
But the SS had all fled by the time the 501st got there, but the staffs were still in the hotels.
It's
so the
crazy.
Americans would go and just fucking harass them. Just robbing all their silverware and demanding they cook for them and shit like that.
What the fuck?
It was, but
Make
yeah,
me
these,
falafels.
we took over your country. Give me some schnitzel
German pancakes.
now. And I'm keeping the silverware, so keep it coming. But yeah, this ski resort had its staff, and him and his 500 guys just roll up while the rest of the country's on fire, and they just get treated like royalty because they're the only guests.
That's fucking crazy.
And they kind of just decided they'd wait out at this
Should we go-
resort until the Americans sort of got around to taking over this area.
You guys feel like skiing? Want to put some rockets on some skis?
As soon as they get there, that's Werner's first thought.
I bet you I can make that jump if I put some rockets on my skis.
But I need 1 or 2 V2s on each ski to really haul ass.
That's what they should have done. I gotta get out of here quickly. I'll just hop on a V2. Just gotta make sure I jump off at the right time before it explodes.
Yeah, you're gonna have to bring a map.
Yeah, and
So
maybe
you know where you
I
are.
need some pillows so that cushion the fall when I jump
Okay.
up.
Light it! You got like a harness. I'm going to America.
This is our finest.
Well, this is just, I guess, ironically, the day after Hitler put a bullet in his head.
Supposedly. I believe he did, by the way, but
Yeah, I like to think he got away, not because I wanted him to, but just I like to think that we don't know history.
right. 70, what did I say? 78, 97% of history is lost.
But I agree with you. He was a coward in life. He died a coward. That's
I
fine.
think he shot himself.
Yeah, he
but
put a bullet in his head because he couldn't stand it.
yeah.
Couldn't stand the idea that he lost because he's a loser. But that was April 30th of 45. So the next day, his Werner's brother Magnus, who's been hanging out with him the whole time, making shitty tea, he actually ran across an American patrol and was like, "Oh hey, up at this resort, a bunch of us, man, we're ready to just wave the white flag, like we're ready."
Is that the plan? I mean, once you're at the resort, maybe we just stay here. If someone comes, fine. But are we flagging down people?
It's true. Like my feet are up.
Yeah.
I got the hot tub. Werner's working on some kind
Ski.
of rocket ski.
I think they're probably wanting to.
Get out.
Well, they're probably wanting to surrender so they don't get shelled.
Oh, yeah. That's
That
a good
too.
point. Surrender quicker before they just...
Because that.
Hey, there's like 500 people at this, and there's a guy in an SS uniform. Shell him!
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think at this point the
Air
Americans.
Force!
You're probably
You're in.
right.
Hey, call this in. Call this in. Just
Oh, we surrender!
destroy that. Destroy that whole building. We don't care who's in there. But yeah, they surrendered. The Americans took them all in, and to their surprise, this was an entirely technically trained team of rocket engineers. And they were
That's
like,
got to be a cool find.
like, fuck, dude.
This guy's talking about integers and shit over here. I think we found someone.
Liquid fuel? I don't even know.
Huh.
Liquid oxygen. And he was actually interrogated by. The story was kind of funny because he talked to, I don't know, like a lieutenant, and he's like, "Oh, I'm the head of the rocket program for the Nazis," and they're like, "Sure you are." So they brought in a technical specialist, somebody in the military who has some technical engineering training.
Test him.
And he's like, "I'm the head of the rocket program for the Nazis." And he's like, "Sure you are, buddy."
Yeah.
And it literally went up the ladder till the military had to call some aeronautic engineer to fly to Germany to give this dude a math test to prove that he is.
First
who he
of all,
says he is.
what's an integer? Okay, good job. Let's continue on.
You passed.
All right.
You passed.
Now, if
So-
you put rockets on his skis, how far do you think?
I'll tell you, dude.
This guy's legit.
I'll tell you. You put two V2s on either ski. You ski up the mountain, and your asshole falls out of your body.
And you do like 80
It's
backflips.
amazing.
We put on one of our POW guys to test it out. So
One of our Soviet slaves.
Yeah.
He kept running his mouth, so we just shot his ass.
Then we put the other 13 guys down there to catch him.
Okay, hold open your arms.
I mean, they did catch them, but they're also dead. So technically, it's
okay, so there's a hole in the ground. You know, they caught him. Their body weight caught part of his body weight. But yeah, they eventually said, okay, he must be who he says he is. He's this mysterious head of the rocket program, the guy who's developed the tech to bomb the fuck out of London and other such things. So after he tells this whole story, the Americans also realize that we're talking about some serious tech that we don't want the Soviets to have either.
right. We didn't trust him still.
So they backtrack his whole caravan across Germany, and they go to the caves in Bavaria and pick up all the paperwork and shit he left there. They go to the caves in Middlework and pick up some remnants of V2s.
Free information.
Go to Peenemünde, pick up all this tech, ship it all over to England with this. Well, they didn't bring everybody, so Wernher brought over about 500 people down to Bavaria with him as his caravan.
Yeah.
And when they asked him, so if you want to surrender this tech and explain it to us, who do you need to bring with you? And he said, "Oh, all of them, all 500 people need to come with me. I need the whole circus."
Hold on. Let's try this again. Who all are actually needed?
They interviewed everybody. They're like, hey, you're the ordinary brother, right?
You
You're
can,
out.
You can.
So you don't need to.
Yeah.
You're not really part of this, right?
We're from England. We like our tea, and you can't even do that, right? Get out of here.
Yeah, not the ordinary tea around here, buddy. We fuck with Darjeeling.
You say you're the prettier assistant? I think he was lying to you.
Oh boy,
Oh, you
You-
sucked his
you
dick,
f-
didn't you?
you
Yeah.
fell for that.
Oh.
Wow, you sucked out his liquid fuel. Huh.
Oh.
That's. Hope they paid you well. So he said, "I need my whole team," and I just like to bring it up when it happens. This request made its way all the way up to Ike, who's of course the supreme commander of the Allied forces.
Right.
And they were like, "We have this guy who has some crazy science that we want to know more about. He wants to bring 500 people to."
What did Ike say?
Ike said, "No,
Oh, I was gonna be like,
you get 100 at the most."
it's like,
And
He's just-
what's funny is they actually assigned a team to go through every single of Von Braun's group,
right.
coterie, cavalcade,
Rocket pals.
cadre, rocket pals. Thank
Yeah.
you. And they would write files on them. They'd get technical information from them. They got information from Wernher about everybody's abilities. Anyone that they deemed worthy of coming along as part of the technical team, they would put a paperclip on their file and put it in a box. And this became Operation Paperclip.
Oh, is that really what it is?
Yeah,
Shit.
that's where the name comes from. They whittled it down to 118 essential personnel. They were brought over to England, which was...
Dude, that's crazy because I've heard this before. Just the term, Operation Paperclip. I
Yeah.
had no idea what it was or what it was referencing to.
What it is.
Nice.
Literally named after a paperclip. I was surprised about that because usually operations are an
Sound
arbitrary
cool,
name.
but they still sound usually like
Screaming Eagle.
Project Trinity or fucking what they call D-Day. They had Torch and they had the other one.
Yeah.
Anyways, they usually give them
should know
cool.
that.
This one they're like, what do you want to call it? I put a paperclip on this paper. Paperclip.
I am tired. Let's just call it that.
That's what happens when you have scientists in charge of coming up with the names.
Come
What
on,
are we
this
gonna call it?
Wow.
Stapler? I don't know what else.
Operation Paperclip. Done.
All right, fine.
Done.
Put it in the books.
File it. We're done. It's like anyone's ever going to know this. Doesn't matter. Let's
Yeah.
move on. So they go to England, which is just hilarious because the English had some questions for Brown as well, like
How many did you kill of us?
why did you
bitch?
why did you shell the fuck out of our city?
Yeah.
The driver in the military who was driving Brown to wherever he was going to go be interrogated made sure to stop in London and just park his car. Just made
Stare at all of
Wernher
it.
stare at it.
Yeah, this is your handiwork, pal. How do you what do you think? You want to stay here? Maybe we stay in one of these places. Maybe
like
this is where you stay.
You like it, mate? You want to go down into the subways?
It's a bit drafty because there's no walls. So I don't know. What do you think?
But Wernher never really expressed any real shame. I think the driver was, I don't know.
Yeah.
Aryans, man. They don't feel shame.
Yeah.
They're terrible people.
He's like, I remember when we launched those. Yeah.
And the English actually wanted to charge him with war crimes. It was some string pulling on the American side to release him. They did instead arrest his immediate commander, who I've referenced before, Dornberger. He got arrested and was put in a British prison for 2 years for war crimes.
Just
But-
based around the those.
Well, they
bombs.
justified it as he was the commanding officer of Von Braun, so Von Braun is not culpable.
He
even
was
though-
doing what he was told.
Yeah, which is
Yeah, it's
sure.
okay.
He was the John Malkovich in the Space Force setup.
John Malkovich.
It's Steve Carell's a bad guy. It's John Malkovich. He's just a scientist.
Isn't John Malkovich that one movie, Being John Malkovich?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that in a long time.
Well, have you guys watched Space Force?
No.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Reference didn't land then.
Yeah.
Steve Carell is the commander of Space Force, and John Malkovich is the head scientist.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know John Malkovich still worked.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I haven't watched it because it kind of looks silly,
That's the point.
but
Yeah,
silly
it's
bad.
Comedy.
No, I think it's silly
Is it good?
Yeah.
I'll have to check it out. I
Steve
just
Carell.
watched Moonbase 8.
It might be done after season 2.
Not well received. Steve
don't think
Carell's post office career, man. He can't figure it out.
Yeah.
He can't figure out where to land.
I think he's just so rich. He's just doing things that sound fun to him, whether
Yeah.
they're even probably.
That's true. He can pick whatever project he wants.
You can tell he likes this project, but
Nobody else does.
yeah, I do. But that's,
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a nerd. Like,
Yeah.
they're fighting the Chinese on the moon. That's funny.
it's funny because it's real. There will be. So, yeah, he was brought over to America.
Just him?
Him and his 118. Well, 117. They arrested Dornberger in England.
Right.
But to give you a little preface here, back in 1942, U.S. military intelligence had a department that their whole point was to interview and interrogate POWs.
Okay.
They needed a place to house them if they brought them over, or at least house their info.
Who was that done by?
Who?
Yeah, who was the government agency that did that?
Oh, just military intelligence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just the intelligence arm of the military. It was a secret department, so the department was actually officially referred to as P.O. Box 1142 because that's the
They didn't even have an actual
that's the
mailbox.
address of where they were. Yeah, they didn't really have
Yeah.
one. It's actually a piece of land on George Washington's former farm, which is kind of cool.
Huh.
But yeah, they brought over a bunch of POWs and hundreds of Nazis to live there and be questioned. And it was really like a military base. They had housing, they had people to work there. they very ironically had, because they needed people who speak German. A lot of the people in the military who speak German were Jewish refugees
Yeah.
who fled Germany, joined the army because they wanted to get revenge, and then were ordered to work for the Germans.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God. They're like, finally, we made it to the U.S. We're safe. Okay, now what? Now you work for these guys. Translate what they're saying, and then figure out.
Fuck! I did this before for no money.
Oh, it's just so painful.
Oh,
So
poor
there
Jewish people.
is, it's about a half hour long. It's a little short movie on Netflix called Camp Confidential. And they interview this Jewish kid. Well, he's a guy now, obviously. He's an elderly. He was a kid at the time.
Yeah.
That was his story. He fled Germany, fled the Nazis, came to America, knowing about Jewish persecution, joined the military to kill Nazis, was assigned to a secret camp where he had to then translate for the Nazis. And he was also like their handler. Like, they had to follow him around and make sure they get lunch, make sure they don't try to escape,
Jesus.
escort them to interrogations. Once
Did he do anything to him? Was he like, even just like a little like, I'm going to trip you? And just,
In the interview, he said that he's actually quite proud that he did not personally take in any torture, and he doesn't think any actually happened, which I think is definitely an honorable position to take.
yeah, yeah.
Not what I would do.
No.
I would bring pliers with me everywhere and just start breaking things.
Yeah.
But there's a pretty funny story in that where he was assigned to take, it was actually, I believe, Wernher Von Braun. He didn't want to say names, but he said some very high-end Aryan men, scientists, who had wives back in Germany. Now, Wernher doesn't have a wife. I think he was just trying to get out of the camp. But it was Christmas time, and they wanted to go buy Christmas presents for their wives. So this poor Jewish kid, private, had to escort these SS members to a mall
That's fucking bananas, dude.
on like December 19th of 1944
What
or
the
45, and had to make sure the public did not know that these were POWs.
Well, but at this point, why? I mean, the
It's
whole thing
fucking great.
sounds crazy.
So they go up
But
to
if
like,
you're gonna, why don't you just be like, you tell me what you want, I'll go to the mall and pick it up for you. Like,
would have been smarter.
oh my
But
God.
what was great is he said he was 19, never had a girlfriend, and these guys were insisted on the store showing them all the brassiers to
Lingerie.
send to their wives.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like,
It's a
would you
great
mind
story.
trying that on for me? I gotta make sure this is gonna look good for his wife.
Yeah. It's just too much.
Ah,
Too many things running through my head.
I can't.
But hey, P.O. Box 1142 is where the military first learned many details, technical and otherwise, about the V-1, V-2, U-boats, microwave and infrared tech that the Nazis had built and harbored that nobody knew too much about at that point.
Yeah. Man, we sure did get we got a lot of technology from a lot of countries in this during World War II. Britain and
Yeah. We got everything.
Germany, and I would imagine that we shared some with Russia back and forth a little bit at least. Although I think it was always like on guard, like I'll give you the second best stuff,
Yes.
or the third, fourth.
Yeah, we really, I don't know what the right word is there. We just sort of blackmailed and tricked and
Lots of spies.
lots of spies, but we came out on top.
Yeah. Good job.
Go America. It's a patriotic show.
Yeah.
People time.
Sure.
Yeah. We love everything about America.
It's all right. I'm not. I'm good, but
You mean like you'll take it or leave it, or you're good?
I mean, like, it's not. There's worse places, but I definitely don't think
I'd rather be Australian, I think.
I don't have the enthusiasm as others in this country. I think is the best way to
Yeah.
explain that.
Well, like if I were to hold a gun to my head, I think that there wouldn't be hip hop without America.
That's a good point.
Other than that, I'd rather just be Mexican or Australian.
I
or something.
definitely
A country with less weight.
definitely recognize the wrongdoings of our own government constantly. So I don't know.
I normally would say Canadian, and then you're like, yeah, but there's crazy idiots.
Yeah, they have a
And
whole
Canada too.
right wing force that's pretty sad, pretty sick. I know that they're very pissed that their freedom convoy got less press because of the Ukrainian war, which is great.
Okay.
Well, Wernher Von Braun, the Nazi scientist, was held at this secret base for a few months, and until the military decided that he's not a flight risk, and we could probably put him to work. And technical abilities. Show us how to make rockets, man.
Just give him a couple secretaries that are female. We're good.
A pretty one and a prettier one.
Yeah.
And then a third one that the other two don't know about.
Who is the prettiest?
Who's the prettiest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now that Von Braun is in America, he's not an American citizen by any means, but he's working for America.
Was he okay with that? Like, is he like, this is good?
Yeah.
Think
It's better
maybe
than death.
better than death or being a slave to the Soviets,
Yeah.
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 And I think
which is what would have happened.
that's the conversation he had back in Germany, where he's like, "What's the
Can't even
better
go back to
idea
Germany,
here?"
right? Do they even technically have a government at this point?
No.
No,
So it's like, that just seems like a good place to land.
I mean, Berlin was just dust.
and the British would have intercepted him and charged him for war crimes.
They probably would have.
Yeah.
If the Americans weren't.
That's the real.
like him.
That's the real part. Is he's like, yeah, if I go back to Europe, guess what?
Yeah.
The British want me in jail.
Yeah. A lot of people don't really like what he was involved in, so I guess I don't blame him for getting as far away from it as possible.
Yeah.
And going to the land of baseball. Where
Yeah.
we forgive sins for whatever reason.
Sure. So now he's working for the U.S. What exactly is he working on?
Retro showing everybody the V2. How does it work? How do you make it work? How do you make it better?
Is he doing any kind of, is he doing any improving on it?
No, he is actually bored out of his mind.
Yeah.
Like the American scientists, the military scientists who got this tech were enthralled. They actually called where it's reverse engineering the V2 so they can understand it.
Yeah.
They called it Project Fireball. Him and his other German technical people called it Project Icebox because that's their joke. Because they're like, we've done this, we're bored.
Yeah. This is old, cold news.
Exactly.
And the other one, they're calling it Fireball because they're like, careful, it might blow up.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might actually literally blow up.
Yeah.
Hey, dabblers, Ava Brontosaurus here, doing the editing for People Time right now, middle of the night, doing fine, thanks, how are you? Hey, thanks for asking. I've been, furiously masturbating, watching, Gilligan's Island while editing, so taking a while, but the primary thing is, whilst editing, I did notice it's going long. It's going long. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut it here for episode 1. Please take a break. Go care for yourself. Eat some toast or some fruit or pleasure yourself. I do have one correction to add right quick for the episode. I did say several times I referenced that the regiment that the Band of Brothers book and show is on. I said that they were in the 501st. It is actually the 506th Parachute Infantry Regiment of the 101st Airborne. So that is the one and only mistake People Time has ever made. So if you caught it, brownie points for you. If you ever mention it to my face, I will murder your family. And you know what? Let's do episode 2.
Hey, thanks again for listening to one of our podcasts. Be sure to catch our next one that's coming out.
Thank you.
People Time.
People Time. Hey, click on the next one and subscribe, bitch.